that green light. Let's go. And we are on. Hey guys, how you going? So down BKRsport. We are live as the Parramatta Eels. We'll take on the West Tigers. Parramatta Eels and the West Tigers here on Easter Monday. Beautiful Holy Week this has been. And hopefully we can have a massive game here today between these two clubs. That is a spicy matchup. Absolutely. It is spicy. It is not an easy one to predict this one by any stretch of the imagination. And I don't know how it's going to go. I really don't know because both teams, look, the Eels, you know, they're something, aren't they? They're something. You know, they are not exactly performing to what they would like right now. They do have 2 wins to start their season against the Broncos and also the Dragons, even though the Broncos at that time hadn't won a game at that point of the year. Outside of that, they've been absolutely whooped by the Melbourne Storm and also the Penrith Panthers. But, you know, the Eels still give you a little bit of something, a little bit of confidence that maybe they could sneak one here today. Whilst in comparison, the Tigers, you don't even know exactly what to think about them right now because they do look good, but also we need to see this season progress. Like, we need to see the season play out a lot more before we can get a really good read, because they've had 3 games so far. They had the bye in round 1, and then they went and beat the Cowboys 44-16. They lost the Rabbitohs 20-16. Rabbitohs defended really well. They're obviously sitting nice and pretty up there in 3rd position right now. And then you've got the New Zealand Warriors who they beat, but the Warriors have been falling off a cliff in these last couple of weeks, considering they started the season 3-0, and then now they've lost 2 games in a row, being to the Tigers, and then got beaten convincingly by the Sharkies yesterday. The Warriors have definitely got a lot of question marks sitting on their heads as we currently speak. So, you know, the Tigers have got some good results to their name as well, though. Well, I shouldn't say as well, because the Eels don't really have great results to their name. However, the Eels, they have won the same amount of games. Both these teams have won 2 games. The only reason the Tigers are up there in the top 4 right now is actually because of the bye, which a lot of people are seemingly forgetting. The reason why they're on 6 points right now is not because they've won 3 games and they're up there with the Rabbitohs and the Warriors and the Sharks. They're actually above the Sharks, the Knights, the Cowboys and the Broncos, who have all won 3 games compared to their 2, but of course that bye, and then their points differential is really solid, plus 42 there for the Tigers. So let's just remember that one in regards to why, when you look at this game, it's not as just simple as saying the Tigers are high on the ladder. They're currently in 4th compared to the Eels in 14th. That tells you the comp right now, because the Tigers have won the same amount of games as the team down there in 14th. And that's why when you talk about this one, you don't just look at the ladder and say Tigers should win this game. It is as 50-50 as it gets, in my opinion. It really is. I still need to see this season progress and to move forward here for the Tigers. And the same thing goes for the Eels. I think I had them for relatively similar positions on the table this year. I think I had the Eels maybe slightly above where I had the Tigers on the preseason ladder. But preseason ladder, throw it out of the bag, man. Everyone's wrong. You know, we did our best. If you tipped the Panthers in first, well, you know, there you go. If you tip the Raiders in 16th, well, shit, you've done well. You've done well to tip the Raiders going from the minor premiership into I think it's 16th position now. They went below the Titans, didn't they? Yeah, they did. Yeah, we progressed. We progressed, and I'm so sorry to all Titans fans that you have been conditioned. We have been conditioned to celebrate rising a ladder, a place on the table by 1 position to 15th off of another team losing, not us winning. That is how we've been conditioned on the Gold Coast, man. But let's get into this game here today and rock and roll through a bit of a preview, and then we'll obviously get to the chat and see what you are saying. So smack that like button, subscribe if you're new around here. It's been a massive weekend, and I tell you, when we went through yesterday, during the Knights vs Raiders stream, we went through round 6, and I'm telling you, it is a spicy round. Like, that is going to be an unbelievable round, in my opinion. You've got Bulldogs versus the Panthers on Thursday, which is going to be super interesting, and I just get a gut feeling about the Doggies being able to put on a bit of a show, despite the fact that they have been awful to watch this year. And I mean awful to watch this year, the Bulldogs. I just get a gut feeling that everyone's so high on the Panthers and everyone's so low on the Dogs, and then they just turn up. It could go the complete opposite way, but I just feel like there's a lot of interesting thought processes about that Bulldogs-Panthers game, especially the last time they played each other in the regular season, not the finals. Panthers smacked them, but it was that 8-6 absolute belter. So hopefully we can get another game like that, but I just feel like that Thursday game has a lot going on about it. Dragons versus Manly. I'm not convinced on Manly yet, but they had a great result against the Dolphins, and the Dragons, on the other hand, obviously they are currently 0-4. Give me 1 second here, 1 second. All right, sorry about that. Gee whiz. The Dragons and And they're 0-4. They need something, but like you don't really know what's going to come from that one. Even though you would probably expect Manly based off of what they at least showed against the Dolphins. But then you got Broncos versus Cowboys on Friday night. That's going to be massive. Rabbitohs versus the Raiders on Saturday. The Raiders are desperate right now. The Rabbitohs are playing well. And that's over in Perth alongside the Sharks and Roosters, which could be a belter. Then you got the Storm versus the Warriors. The Warriors are also desperate to get back into the winner's circle, whilst the Storm are even more desperate to get back into the winner's circle. And you would have expected a lot more from the Storm this season. They're in 10th position right now. They're not even in the top 8. They can't even be on fraud alert. You can only be on fraud alert if you're in the top 8. They can't even be on fraud alert because they're not even here. They're not even here on the ladder. Not even here. So that's a big game on Saturday. Then Eels versus Titans. Obviously, Titans go undefeated from this point onwards. And, the Tigers versus Knights is going to be a spicy one. Dolphins get to bye. Next week is really pumping. Is really pumping. So definitely get ready for that one. But let's get into this game here today, guys. So smack that thumbs up button, subscribe. Let's do it. The Eels, they come into this game from 14th pre-round. They are in 14th now. And the Tigers come into this game from 5th position. This is at CommBank Stadium in Sydney. Now, the ins for the Eels, Apa Twiddle and Jack de Belin, with the outs being Isaiah Yongi and Matt Dory. The fullback is Josh Papali'i, with the wingers being Bailey Simonson and Josh Adokar. Centers of Brian Kelly and Sean Russell. You go to the 5'8", Jonah Pessett, with the halfback being Mitchell Moses, and then he's the captain. The front row forwards are Jack Williams and Junior Bolo, with the number 9 being Riley Smith. The back row of Kelma Tuolangi and Kitiona Kautonga, and the 13 is Dylan Walker, with the interchange being Talon De Silva, Sam Tuivaiti, Charlie Geimer, Luca Moretti, Jack de Belin and Apa Twiddle, with the coach being Jason Riles. This is an Eels team that comes into this one where it's not like they're desperate for a win by any stretch of the imagination. Like, obviously they're in 14th position, which is in the bottom 4, and that is quite low on the table, especially considering they want to definitely start seeing a rise out of their team this year, and the back end of last year did show that was entirely possible. But also, they're only 2 points out of 4th position right now. That's how early in the season we are. We're super early in the season, and it's nothing too significant to worry about except for your points differential of minus 58. That is something definitely to worry about, because when you have lost this season, you have lost well. And when you have won this season, you have won in a close one. You've been giving up a lot of points this year, but you have been able to score some points as well. Which has been quite solid, but it is very early in the season, so don't be too stressed if you are able to get a win here today. But also, this is a team in a similar thought process position to you that you do want to get that leg up on. This is like a 4-point matchup here, because although you get 2 points, you take 2 points away from the opposition. So that's what we reference when we say 4-point matchup. And the Eels, they have the opportunity to win this game. Mitchell Moses and Jonah Pessett look like they are doing a bit in regards to the attack, and it is actually working out regarding the attack. And you've got some big-time players in Brian Kelly. He can have his big moments. Josh Adokar has his big moments. Josh Papali'i is obviously into the fullback, so they've got a bit of a different situation fullback-wise today instead of Yongi, who I do like. So that will be a hit to the system, because I believe that Josh Papali'i is meant to be their incoming 6 after Jonah Pessett goes to the Broncos next season. I believe that is what they're planning, which I find interesting, but we'll see. We'll see how that one plays out next year. But he is in the fullback here today, so they do have to shuffle a little bit of their spine. Riley Smith has been doing his job, and then Talon De Silva coming on the bench. They've got that 1-2 punch with the hooker. And Kelma Tuolangi's been great this year. He's been spectacular. So is Kitiona Kautonga. Has an error in him. But overall, I like their back rowers. Their front rowers are okay in Jack Williams and Jimmy Bolo. Not the same guy that he once was, but, still solid. And then Dylan Walker, I guess that's what he needs to do in that 13. So, they've got definite room for improvement across their roster, but they also have a good enough team that they should be, for mine, competing for the top 8. They're not going to be listening to entertain us and winning the competition by any stretch of the imagination. This Eels team, for mine, is not ready for that. Maybe in the future, sure, but not right this very second. They've still got a lot to do, and especially defensively, because if you look across their first 4 games, they lost to the Melbourne Storm 52-4. Now, that was the only impressive game from the Storm so far this season. The Storm have played 5 games, and the only impressive game that I've seen from the Melbourne Storm was against the Eels. Outside of that, they were down 20-16 with 20 minutes to go against the Dragons, and the Dragons knocked on the ball about 1 million times and lost the game 46-20. But it's also the team that has won 0 games. And then you saw the Storm up 14-0 at half time. They lost 18-14 to the Broncos in Melbourne. And then they lost to the Cowboys 28-24 in North Queensland. And then they just had their first Fitty bomb since 2003. And the biggest loss since 2008 grand final, 50-10 to the Panthers. You know, they play the Warriors next week. So you look across their schedule and you say, well, the only good result that we really saw was against the Eels. So that is a major concern. And obviously they beat the Broncos 40-32, who have had a bit of a resurgence and won 3 games in a row now, but also got 32 points to them when they lost the previous game 26-0 at home to the Penrith Panthers there. But it's a weird one to look at because the Broncos have been better. They haven't been outstanding, but they've been better. And they were 0-2 at the time, but also the 0-2 team was the other team was the Panthers. So I really don't know how to get a read on them overall. But at least they won that one 40-32. Then they beat the Dragons 30-20, and they lose the Panthers 48-20. And I really got to put a foot down here and say, like, I don't understand why the people are celebrating the fact that the Eels have scored most against the Panthers this year with 20 points. The game was over at halftime. It was done. The Panthers had whooped them at halftime, and the second half is pointless to celebrate in regards to it. At halftime, the score was 30-4. The Eels gave up 30 points in the first half. They scored 16 points in the second half. That's great, but the Panthers also scored 18 points in the second half, and they're not typically good in second halves. They're really good in first halves. They are clearly just unbelievable in the first half, but the second half they do evidently slow down. So and also the Panthers did actually have been in the 42nd minute of that of the game. So look, I think it's good for Eels fans to be happy with it, but also, please don't be happy with that game, because that game is not something overall you should be happy about and using as a read. You lost 48-20, you were down 30-4 at half time. Scoring 20 points is only beneficial to your points differential, but you still got whooped by 28 points despite scoring this magnificent 20 points. Do you know what I mean? So whilst I know you're saying that it's the most points that any team has scored against the Panthers, it came in a null and void time where the Panthers are known for second half slowdowns, and also the game was already a blowout by dead set, like 30-40 points. You know what I mean? So it's not here to hate on you. It's just to observe and say, well, I don't know why that's being jumped on so heavily as like, oh, well, the Eels are the best team to play the Panthers so far. It's not necessarily true. It just isn't. But again, I think the Eels can win this game today. I think they could be up for it, and they could be on for their third win, which would be great for them. And again, it is a leg up against a similar rated opposition where it would be a 4-point win because you get your 2 points and you take 2 points away from a similar competitor. Then you move over to the West Tigers. They've got no ins and no outs, no shake it all outs. They're not changing up anything. The fullback is Jareem, the Dream Buller. Wingers of Falatino Tavana and Luke Lalali'i, centers of Sunya Torova and Hiamasi Makasini. The 5'8" is Jock Madden, with the halfback being Adam Dewey. The front row forwards are Terrell May and Whenua Bole. Number 9 is Apisa Koroisau, who is the captain. Then you go to the back row, which is Samuela Fainu and Kai Pearce-Paul. And 13 is Alex Twell. Interchange of Latu Fainu, Sione Fainu, Royce Hunt, Alex Seyfarth, Jarrell Skelton, and Tristan Hope, with the coach being Benji Marshall. Tigers, you know, they're fired up right now after a big win against the Warriors last week, 32-14, but the Warriors haven't helped that because they've gone on to lose the Sharkies very convincingly and showing the old demons of the New Zealand Warriors franchise, where they can promise and show a lot and then they can completely fall apart, which is what they did last year. And what they're already showing signs of right now with the changes that they've had to make in these last couple of weeks, they really have regressed in regards to the attack. But overall, if you're a Tigers fan, who gives a shit about what the Warriors are doing? You just have to give a shit what you're doing, and as long as you get the 2 points, you get the 2 points. You know, you lost to the Rabbitohs in a very close one there, and they defended extremely well against you, and you beat the Cowboys 44-16. The Cowboys have had a little bit of form, but Dragons don't prove me anything about from the other day. And the Cowboys are just in a bit of a weird spot where I don't think they're a competitive team this year, but they do know how to get some results against these kind of opposition. The Storm are not one to look at right now. The Dragons aren't one to look at overall. And I guess it'll tell us about the Broncos, but also look at the Broncos. They've lost Reece Walsh, they've lost Adam Reynolds, and they've also lost Ben Hunt. So the Cowboys have got a prime opportunity to actually go and win that game. And I feel like their record is a little bit of a falsity for what I'm seeing from them. But, you know, at the end of the day, they're getting their results. So you look at their 3 games, and you're pretty happy with that. You are pretty, even though they lost the Rabbitohs, that you're pretty happy with the first 3 games they're outside of the bye. And across their team, they are missing not Dream Buller. They are missing Jerome Luai right now, and Jock Madden had a really good game against the Warriors last week. He's an okay player. I don't think there's going to be consistent Absolutely amazing performances, but go prove me wrong again today. You know, I wasn't expecting an amazing performance out of him last week, and yeah, he turned up and he killed it against the Waz. So I'm looking forward to seeing if he can go and do that again. Need to see a little bit more out of Marcassini right now because he's got some huge hopes, and their backline's really young. Like Falatino Tavana was on debut this year. Taruva, he's still, but what is he, like 24 years old, 25? 2002, so he is, 24 years old this year. He's 23 going on 24. So he's still super young as well. And then you go to Marcassini, who was on debut last year, and Laloli, I think he's still super young, like 20 years old or something like that. Yeah, he's literally 20 years old this year. He's 19 right now, going on 20. So their backline is extremely young. So they're definitely looking to build towards the future here. Obviously, Adam Dewey in the halfback is not extremely young, but he's still got plenty of years left in him. It's 1998, so what's that? He's 28 years old. You know, he's still got plenty good years left in him. He's had some injuries over his time, but he's definitely not old in the rugby league game just yet. So they're 1 through 7, and I think Jerome Luai's like, what, 26 or something like that? How old is he? He's 29 years old. Okay, but he's still got a good few years. Again, he's not playing here today, but he's still got a good few years in him. So this Tigers team, they really are building for the future. This is why I keep saying, don't expect that they're going to go and win the competition now. You know, they are promising to deliver over the next 2 to 3 years. Like, they're promising to deliver. So all you need to see is the constant upwards trajectory, which is what you're seeing right now. So you should be happy about that. But it's just don't jump the gun in regards to immediately thinking that you're going to be taking down the Penrith Panthers on a consistent level. Don't jump the gun in regards to that, because you will disappoint yourself in regards to that. They're not quite ready to go and win a competition, but they genuinely, if these guys do develop into the players that they're expecting, do have a chance within 2 to 3 years, to be up and competing. And that could be next year, that could be the year after, that could be the year after that. That's why I say within 2 to 3 years, right? So this Tigers team is building to a good point where they're at least getting away from the 3 wooden spoons in a row we saw in recent years. Yeah, they came 5th last year, but that was an improvement, and now just go above that. Doesn't matter how far above that you go, you just need to see the constant upwards trajectory. And their forwards are really solid too. Samuela Fainu, I called him for a breakout year. I've been really happy with his progress this year. He is running the ball harder. Kai Pearce-Paul has been solid. He's been in and out of games, actually. He had a really good game in his first one against the North Queensland Cowboys, and had a pretty good game against the Warriors as well. Didn't do too much against the Rabbits though, but overall I really like that signing of Kai Pearce-Paul. Alex Twal does his job. Funobole is fine. Terrell May is really solid, and Kodawai obviously he's just a workhorse man, and he is getting on in age now, but with that, he's going to be 34 this year, Kodawai, so they do have to start considering what they're going to be doing into the long/near-term future with their hooker department. It's good to see that Latu Fainu is back into this team, and he's on the bench there in the 14. So I'm sure that he's going to get plenty of a go here today. So look, when it comes to this matchup, I do struggle. I think this is as 50-50 as it gets as well, which we've seen quite a lot this weekend so far. I think it is super 50-50, and it's just a really difficult one to get a real 100% I know who's going to win this game. If I'm going to go based off of the form of the two teams, I would probably be more inclined to take the Tigers, because I think that their form has still been very solid even when they lost to the Rabbitohs. But also I look at the two team lineups and I say, well, I think that the Eels probably should get this right this very moment. I think that they look a little bit more progressed in regards to who should have the better team here today, but should doesn't mean shit. Should does not mean quite literally anything. So I really don't. I'm going to... Jeez. Who am I going to tip here today? I know a lot of the common consensus will probably lean towards the Tigers, but that's more so a lot of people don't actually watch everything and they'll just look at the ladder, and I get it. Like, I do, but again, they've both won the same amount of games this season, despite the Eels in 14th and the Tigers in 5th. It just comes down to that bye that the Tigers had. But again, the Tigers do have a much more significant points differential than the Eels do, but also the Eels have had to take on an expectedly good team in the Storm that haven't been good, and also the Panthers, who have been unbelievable. So that points differential has been absolutely slaughtered, because they've taken on two teams that are much better than the teams that the Tigers have played. So the way these two teams have come into the competition so far this year, you have seen a much more difficult schedule for Parramatta compared to the schedule that you have seen for the Tigers. They had the bye, then they had the Cowboys, who didn't finish in the 8 last year, the Rabbitohs, who finished the same points as them last year and 4th last, and then the Warriors, who I think came 6th or 7th. I can't remember where did they actually finish? Did they finish 6th or 7th by the end of the year? Let's go round 27. The Warriors ended up coming 6th position at the end of the year, and that's right, they played the Panthers at home and got knocked out. So the opening schedule based off of last year, again, that's ignoring the form from this year, has not been anywhere near as easy as the Eels taking on the Storm, who made the grand final, the Broncos, who won the grand final, the Dragons, obviously, they were third last, that was not great, and then the Panthers, who made the preliminary final. So they've taken on 3 of the 4 preliminary finalists of last year so far, the Eels. So their schedule has been much more tough, and they're about to come into a bit of an easier schedule overall, where you look at it, Tigers, the 5th last year, the Titans of 16th last year, yeah, the Bulldogs were pretty good last year, and then the Manly Sea Eagles, who obviously missed the 8 as well. So I'm probably going to lean with the Eels here, but I think this is either way. If you feel like the Tigers are going to get up, tip the Tigers. If you have a gut feeling that the Eels are going to get up, tip the Eels. I don't think that there's any solidified option where you just know that this team is going to win. So I'll take the Eels in 1 of 12, but it's going to be hopefully a good game. And if the Tigers go and blow them out, I'll be right on their wagon, man. I'll be right on their wagon. In regards to the first 7 games here for the Eels, the game starts in 30 minutes' time. In regards to the first 7 games, obviously the Eels are 2-2. They have the Tigers today, the Titans next week at CommBank, and then they play the Bulldogs in round 7. That's going to be a tough one considering it's a rivalry game, even though the form of the Bulldogs is absolutely abhorrent right now. I think by the end of the 7th round, you'll be happy with a 4-3. I don't think you should fully expect a 5-2 at all. I really don't. But these teams are a lot less than, say, what you would expect out of the Storm, and also what you're seeing out of the Panthers right now. So I think that you need to win at least 2 of these games. At least 2 of them. So if you lose this, that means you have to beat the Titans and the Bulldogs. If you win this, you just need to win one of those 2 games. And I'm expecting, obviously, that you should be expecting to beat the Gold Coast Titans. But I do feel like a 4 and a 3 is a minimum. 3 and 4 would be disappointing, considering these next 3 matchups, especially with the Bulldogs' form. But I'm not fully expecting the Bulldogs' form to be this bad for the entire duration of the season, even though they've got a Muppet as their attacking coach, who was sacked by the Knights, and the Knights have obviously improved dramatically since his sacking. And then they went and signed him as an attacking coach, which is just very, very strange, the Bulldogs. So, look, yeah, I think realistically you should be looking at a 4 and 3 by the 7th round. You'll be happy with that. And then for the Tigers, obviously, you can only judge the 6 rounds because they had the bye in round 1. They are 2 and 1. They play the Eels this week, and then they play the Knights next week at Campbelltown, and then the Broncos at Campbelltown the week after. So it's like intriguing matchups here. It's not like really difficult ones, but like it's ones where the form is suggesting that it should be really difficult. For example, the Knights, for example, the Broncos, but the Broncos are now without Reece Walsh, Adam Reynolds, and Ben Hunt, so that does adjust that matchup there. I think Reno might be back for that game, maybe, but overall they're still without some of their most of their real key players there. So that is an interesting one where I feel like on that context, they should be winning that game. The Knights one, geez, they're playing well right now, Newcastle. They are playing some really good footy. So I just don't know if you can fully expect that. I do feel like you're in a similar situation where you need to be... I think you should actually end up being 4 and 2 based off of how you've seen it so far this season. I think you'll be happy with a 3 and 3. I think you'll be okay with it. But I do think that these next 3 matchups contextually, I think you could probably expect to be looking at a... No, sorry, you can't be 4 and 2. No, yeah, you can. We only lose one of those games and then you win the other 2. I don't mind it. So if you lose today, then that means you'd be having to beat the Knights for that. Otherwise, you still go to 3 and 3 if you beat the Broncos. If you lost to the Eels and then the Knights, then you beat the Broncos, you'd still be 3 and 3. As long as you don't lose all 3 of these next 3 matchups, which I don't think will happen. You just need to, at minimum, win 1. And then if not winning 1 and you win 2, I think you'd be really, really happy with that one overall. So that's the 2 teams in regards to the next couple of weeks. And then in regards to the ladder, no, I'm looking at 2025 right now. In regards to the ladder, the Tigers, they're in 5th position on 6 points, which is equal with the Warriors, the Sharks, the Cowboys, the Broncos, the Bulldogs, the Roosters. Their points differential is the second of that group, is second with 42. The best is the Warriors with 52. If the Tigers are to win this game, they would immediately jump into the top 4 above the Warriors onto equal second with the Knights and the Rabbitohs on 8 points. They would also immediately jump above the Rabbitohs who are on plus 14, so you would be in third. And then you would actually immediately jump above the Knights, who have a plus 32. You'd be on plus 42, whatever you win by today. You would be in second. So it would be the Tigers in second and the Knights in third in regards to the top four after 5 rounds, which is a crazy thought process considering recent years. And then if the Tigers lose this game, then they're probably not going to be dropping anywhere. Like they're more than likely just going to be situated exactly where they are. Because they just simply will. They would have to lose this game by a lot. The Sharks are on plus 18. You would have to lose this by 25 points or more to go below Cronulla. You'd have to lose by 30 points or more to go below the Cowboys. You'd have to lose by about 46 points to drop below the Broncos there. So realistically, I don't see you losing this game by... If you were to lose, I don't see you losing this game by that much. So I think that you would just stay in 5th position with a loss. But then obviously there's a whole bunch of teams that are super close to you now. And the Eels would be only 2 points away from you and would have the same amount of... they'd have more wins than you. It's just that you have that bye in comparison. So Tigers are either in 5th or they're in 2nd/3rd. The Tigers are in 5th or they're in 2nd. Either 2nd or 5th by the end of this round. But again, guys, we still have 22 more rounds to go. So don't jump the gun just right this very second. For the Eels, on the other hand, they're in 14th position. They're on 4 points, equal with the Storm, Manly, Dolphins, and themselves. They have the worst points differential of those 4 teams. So minus 58 for the Eels, minus 26 for the Dolphins, minus 4 for Manly, and then plus 26 there for the Storm. Crazy to think the Storm could be in 12th by the end of the round. If the Eels are to lose this game, this is the last game of the round, so they will just stay in 14th position. But their points differential is still super close to the Titans on minus 64, which is 2 points below them, and then also the minus 69 of the Raiders. So if they were to lose this game by, say, 6 points, then they would have a worse points differential than the Titans, and they actually play the Titans next week. And then if they lose this game by 12 points or more, then they'd actually be below the Raiders on points differential too. But they're not dropping off the ladder position because they've got those 2 points already above them. They've won 2 games compared to those 2 teams who've won 1 game, but it just brings them back into the equation, especially, say, if the Raiders beat the Rabbitohs next week, and if the Titans were to beat the Eels by 1 point, the Eels would actually then go into 16th position, and you'd have to hope the Dragons don't beat Manly to be within 2 points of putting you into last position, because their points differential is not that bad too compared to you. It's really bad, but it's not bad compared to you, because you're minus 58, they're minus 77. So there are only 19 points differential separating as well. So whilst you have won those 2 games, and a lot of the teams above you have had their byes already, like, for example, Manly have had their bye, Roosters, Bulldogs have had their bye and whatnot. So those teams are a little bit of a falsity. You've won more games than Manly, but not just yet with the Bulldogs because they've still won there too. But the fact that they've had their bye does obviously benefit them greatly in regards to showing a bit of a falsity on this ladder. So anyway, long story short, you lose this game, you will stay in 14th, but then next week is very important for you. If you win this game, you would immediately jump above the Dolphins, Manly, and the Storm into 11th position. You would... that points differential is so bad that you're probably not going to be jumping too much above that. So you would be equal with all the Warriors, Tigers, Sharks, Cowboys, Broncos, Bulldogs, and Roosters, but even the Roosters have a minus 35 points differential. Even the Roosters have minus 35. You're minus 58. So you would have to win this game by 23 points or more just to go above the Roosters into 10th position. You would have to win this game by 50 points to go above the Bulldogs, and that's just not happening. And you have to win this game by 60 points to go above the Broncos. So, yeah, it's looking pretty rough in regards to your points differential, man, especially with there being a lot of teams right now that weren't expected to be as high up as they are. They're on a similar discussion point to you in a lot of ways. So it makes it even more difficult that it's not just like a clean-shaven competition right now where the expectations have gone to plan. There is just a lot of teams, like even Manly, who have been abhorrent this year because of their massive win against the Dolphins. They're minus 4 now, so their points differential is way better than yours. Even the Storm, who have been so poor, if you win, yeah, you go above them, but their points differential is still plus 26, which just takes one sneaky result against you, and then they win, and they go right back above you, especially with the fact that they're playing the Warriors, where at home as well, the Warriors just never seem to beat the Melbourne Storm, but this is a very vulnerable time for them. So it's a very interesting ladder right now. Again, the Eels, the highest you're probably just going to finish here today is 11th. And if you lose, you just stay in 14th. But it just makes it super, super important for the coming rounds, especially next week, where you should be expected to beat the Titans. But we'll see how that goes because the Titans will never lose a game ever again. But that is the preview here for today, guys. The game starts in about 25 minutes' time. Obviously, smack that like button, subscribe, get into the chat. Let me know your thoughts here for this Easter Monday clash, and let's hope for a good one, baby. Let's hope for a good one. Dig says Moses 13 plus. Jeff Henderson says let's go the Eels. Scott says since Broncos have Walsh, Hunt, and Reynolds out, Panthers minor premiership $1.57. Is it a lock now? Brother, we are in round 5. 5! Guys, there's no such thing as a lock. I say this every single day. I don't understand why people don't understand this. There is no such thing as a lock in round 5. The Panthers have been clearly the best team of the competition through the first 5 rounds. But what if Nathan Cleary, and touch wood, God bless, I don't want this to happen, but what if Nathan Cleary goes and hurts himself in training for the next 8 weeks? What if we see Dylan Edwards and Brian Tuttle? Again, God bless, touchwood doesn't happen. What if we see them get injured over the next couple of weeks throughout the game? I mean, not Brian Tuttle as an integral part, but, why is there this notion that 5 rounds in there could be a lock for the competition? We've still got Origin to play. We've still got 22 full rounds to go. This ladder will shake up just because you see the Knights in second, and this is no offense to Knights fans. You've been fantastic, and I look forward to hopefully seeing you keep on going with it. But there's no lock that they're even a top 8 team right now. Even though they look it right as we speak, there is so many times. Ask Dragons fans what their thoughts are over the last 5 to 6 years. Besides this year, obviously. The Dragons are infamous for starting off seasons incredible, minus this year. Infamous for winning the March Premiership. They win the Premiership in March, and then they don't make the 8 at the end of the season. They look unbelievable until they don't. So whilst I fully do expect the Panthers to go on and win the minor Premiership and win the Premiership from here because it doesn't look like anyone can beat them, at the end of the day, we are only 5 weeks into the season. 5 weeks. We haven't even gotten to Magic Round yet. We haven't even gotten to talking about Origin yet. The only time you start talking about a lock is pretty much after Origin. You have to wait till after Origin for that. So, is it likely? My response to you, is it likely? Yeah, I think that right now there's no team that I can see, as we currently speak, beating out the Panthers for a minor premiership and even for the premiership. But it just takes one big-time long-term injury. Again, God bless, touch wood, it doesn't happen, but I have to talk about this to make the point understandable. What if Nathan Cleary does his ACL next week? Are the Panthers still a lock for the minor premiership? Are they still a lock for the minor premiership? What if, by chance, you see the Bulldogs get an upset against the Panthers? The Bulldogs have looked awful, and the Panthers have looked amazing. What if, by chance, the Bulldogs turn up for that game and win that game by 2 points? Are you still 100% guaranteeing a lock? Because they'll still be top of the table. The Panthers will be still top of the table, but they would have lost to a team that's been really disappointing this season and isn't even in the top 8. So the point is, I'm not having a crack at you. I'm just trying to adjust your mindset to say this is a 27-round long season. 27 rounds. And people are very immediate and very reactionary in regards to their thought processes. So whilst the Panthers have been unbelievable to watch, and I fully expect that they just go and win the competition from here, there's no chance, and by no means is anything ever a lock in regards to a long season duration 5 rounds in. Pete starts, and of course the Storm will be desperate to get back to the winner's circle. Bellamy, I don't want to even imagine what he was like in the sheds at full time. I said at the time, I don't think that Bellamy would have lost it. I think he would have just probably been quiet, which would have sent enough of a message. I don't think he would have been letting them off. They'll be feeling it in training this week, but I just don't know if he would have blown up at it. I think he would have just let the result speak for itself and allowed the players to have their own thoughts, which sends well and truly enough of a message for mine. Because as a coach, you need to pick and choose your moments to just roast the players. And as a coach, you need to pick and choose when is the right time to try and get that response out of them. Now, sure, that could be now. And again, he could have done that. He could have absolutely blown up at them. But I just feel like Craig Bellamy would have left them with their own thoughts for a long portion of it. And everyone understands how good the Panthers are, but the Storm should never be losing 50 points to 10 to them regardless, especially with their spine. But outside of the spine, they do look very worrisome. Even against the Dragons, against the Cowboys, and also against the Broncos, they've looked worrisome. So yeah, the Melbourne Storm are in a bit of a tough pickle right now. However, they play the Warriors, who are out of form themselves. The Warriors have not beaten the Storm in yonks, years. And also they're travelling to Melbourne, where you just don't expect the Melbourne Storm to lose 2 games in a row. So it's like I said, even if the Warriors beat the Sharks yesterday, which I tipped the Sharks, but I said even if the Warriors beat the Sharks, I still probably just tip the Storm. And that is based off of a historical bias. It's not necessarily based off of form, but the form does now warrant it as well. But it is more so based off of a historical bias where you just like, well, the Storm just aren't going to lose 2 games in a row in Melbourne, surely. Okay, yes, they've lost 3 games in a row, which is not fathomable, and then 50 points is not fathomable. But I don't know, man. I just don't think I can tip the Warriors regardless. Scott says, I don't see the Broncos beating the Cowboys without Hunt, Reynolds, and Walsh. Would you wait to see if Broncos lose to get on Panthers minus premiership? Oh my gosh. Dig says, Lorenzo 6 next year. Lorenzo 6 next year. Okay, I swear I heard Papali'i was meant to be the guy. Brighton says, why do you reckon the Broncos are the only threat to being minor premiers? What about Bunnies or Sharks or even the Knights and Roosters? Long season, brother. She's only early. Thank you, Brighton. Thank you. Guys, I need to get a tattoo right here. I need to get a tattoo. And Scott, this isn't just you who talks like this. I need to get a tattoo on my forehead that says we are only 5 rounds in. 5. 5 rounds in. 5 rounds in. 5. Numero. No, that's not numero. I was going to do Spanish, but that's uno, not numero. Numero uno means number 1. But please, guys, please listen to me. I'm begging. It's 5 rounds in. Please don't be so reactionary. Doing Blaze, shout out to Tigers fans. Don't fumble this week. Coming for you next weekend. Oh yeah, good luck. Yeah, next week. Knights look good, man. A nice look. They look solid. And again, when I say that the Knights look amazing, but also it's 5 rounds in, so don't just fully expect that it's going to be the whole season long and they're going to make the finals, blah, blah, blah. It's not an insult to Knights fans. It's just to kind of make it understandable of how early we are in the season right now. We're getting a good picture and a good read for how teams are playing, and the Knights are playing some good footy. It's not a negative against your club. It's just using your club as an example, because we have seen it from teams like the Dragons before, and we see it from teams all the time, you know, where they do really well at the beginning and then they fall apart. Look at the Dolphins. Dolphins were, you know, looking amazing at some points last year. Again, their defense was awful, but they were looking amazing at some points last year. But then again, for some reason, the Dolphins are the most overhyped franchise that I've ever seen in my life. They just always are. They just, for some reason, always are. Scott says, Brighton Broncos are the closest to Panthers, Bunnies, and Sharks, paying like $12. Oh my God, I'm going to lose my mind, guys. I'm going to lose my mind. Aspect says try scorers. 28 is You're an idiot. Try scorers for today. Backline player for the Eels. I'm going to back in my boy BK. I'm going to back him in. I'm going to slap in a Brian Kelly. I'm going to do it. I'm going to get in a bit of Brian Kelly. Has BK scored this year? I don't know if BK has scored this year so far for the Eels. I'm going to slap in a Brian Kelly there for the backline for the Eels. And if the forwards, I don't even know if Kitiona Katonga has scored too much this year. Kelma scored a few, but I'm going to go with Kitiona Katonga for the Totoviti man. Bit of Fiji and flyer in the back row. I'm going to go Kitiona Katonga and also BK Brian Kelly. Then for the Tigers, I loved what I saw from Valentino Tavana in the preseason, and I loved what I saw from him last week against the Wires too. He's a winger, it's an obvious selection, and I'm going to go the obvious selection. I'm going Valentino Tavana. I actually predicted him for a try last week too on debut, and he got a try on debut. So I'm going to do it again. If it's not broke, don't fix it, folks. I'm taking Valentino Tavana. And then for the forwards, Samuel Afeinu. Easy as that, son. He's going to score twice. He's going to score damn well twice, Samuel Afeinu. That's what. Well, if I'm thinking Samuel Afeinu is going to score twice and then Valentino Tavana, then I've got like a Tigers win here. Like I said, it's 50-50. Like I said, it's 50-50, man. But that's my try score predictions for the day. Hopper says, so hard to pick a winner in this match. It is. It very much is. Ibn says, how the hell are the Eels favourites? Why is it how the hell are the Eels favourites? Why would they not be? Or why should they not be? Like, because I think this is 50-50. I think you could have made the favourites either side. I think it should have been just $1.90 each, but whatever. Dion says, Tigers going to get the job done tonight. Good luck. Justin says, Eels' 2 losses were good opponents, plus them scoring. Well, the Storm haven't been good, but overall, historically, sure, but the Storm haven't been good. So that's why it's a weird conversation, because yes, the Storm were a good opponent. They made the grand final last year and the year beforehand. They're a historically successful opponent, and their form over the years has been incredible, but not this year. So that's why it's kind of difficult to understand it. Pete Sasson, I think you can sort of tell in the first 10 to 15 minutes of the first half who might win. Sometimes. You know, like for example, you know, momentum changes and swings. Like if you go based off of the, What's a good example of this? Like, we see a lot of teams score first who don't go on to win the game. Like, for example, yesterday with the Knights looked awesome for the first 5 minutes, and then the next 20 minutes was kind of all Canberra, and then for the rest of the game it was all Knights. So whilst the Knights won, but also the Raiders were the better team between the 5th and the 25th minute probably, and then outside of that it was all Knights. So based off of the thought process that you're saying there, then you would have said that basically the first 15 minutes, Raiders take 10 of it, Knights take 5 of it, but I think the Raiders ended up scoring first as well. So whilst you're right, you have a pretty good idea, it's not necessarily true either. Dion says, Eels have home ground advantage, so did the Wars. Has nothing to do with anything, really. Peter says, Para injuries are concerned, 2 front rowers out for the season. Yeah, they are starting to have a few injuries, that's for sure. Hobbit says, Billy, Benji, and Kieran coaching now legends. No, it is great to see Benji Marshall at the Tigers, Kieran Foran at the Manly Seagulls, and obviously Billy Slater at for Queensland. But also most coaches are ex-players. Most coaches are ex-players. Even Craig Bellamy played back for the Raiders, I believe, back in '87. I think it was Bellamy at the Raiders. Obviously, Sticky Ricky was a legend of the game for the Raiders. Josh Hannay was successful for the Sharks and the Cowboys. I think Holbrook played for the Knights, didn't he, when he was a player? Who else we got there? Anthony Seabold was a McDonald's worker. Andrew Webster, did he ever play? Ivan Cleary obviously played. Jason Riles definitely played for the Storm and also the Dragons, yeah. So, yeah, like we've got quite a few. Wayne Bennett, I think, played a long time ago. So, yeah, you'll typically see ex-players becoming coaches. Did Trent Robbo play when he was younger? Was he in the New South Wales Rugby League when he was younger? Roosters fans can let me know. Rooster Man says it's a long season and shit happens. Shit definitely does happen, Rooster Man. Shit definitely does happen. Like, when the Titans go and win a comp from here, like, it's going to make me sick how you guys just didn't believe in them. It's sickening to think that people doubt the fact that we're just luring the competition into a false sense of security. Like, it makes me sick, really. Makes me sick. Condor says, I'm backing my Tigers today. Of course you do. You have to. They made a massive statement against an at the time informed Warriors side. I feel the Tigers have put in a good performance. Let's see that consistency. I think it's a bit weird to use it as an informed team at the time of the Warriors, but also that was last week, and also they've gone on now to get pumped by the Sharkies. I don't know if that was necessarily a statement. It was a good win, though. It was a good win because the Warriors, they are known to do that. If you had done that to... I don't even know who to use as an example right now. I don't even know how to use this as an example because the Warriors, again, that was not an expected result, but it was an entirely possible result for their club. Jeez, like I don't know what to use as a statement. Like the Knights called yesterday's win over the Raiders a statement, and I just wouldn't even necessarily call it that based off of what they're doing this year as well. Sure, look, I back it. You can have it, but I know that you can understand my queries regarding it. Aspects, but also you have to be back in your team. Of course you're going to back in the Tigers in a 50-50 matchup or in a game where you've won more games than you've lost this season regardless. So not that I'm specifically looking at the Warriors, but you've won more games than you've lost this season regardless. Of course you've got to back your team, and I'd do the same with the Titans. Aspects is how good, only a 3-day turnaround to the next game. Now, good stuff, man. I'm going to actually be moving to a different place in Bangkok tomorrow, so I will have a different background. I'm going to try and move to a place that... has a balcony and a pool, because although this place is really good, I've really enjoyed my local experience here. I want a pool. I want a pool because it's hot here in Thailand at the moment. Dion says Storm, Broncos and Dogs will get a lot better over the season. I expect that with the Storm. I think the Broncos have been fine regardless, and the Dogs should, they should, but they're doing the same thing as they did last year, man. William says, hi bro, hope you're well. Going Tigers by 10. Well, good luck. Michael says, if Panthers get injuries, changes, everything, wait and see. Anything is possible. Anything is definitely possible. Again, I don't want that to happen. I want to see the best players on the field all the time. If you want to be successful, if you want to be the best, you've got to beat the best. So that's why, even if my team is desperate for, say, I'll put into a Tigers, for example. Say you're in ninth position, last game of the season, round 27, you are the final matchup of the entire season because all the other games have played, and you need to beat the Panthers to get into the top 8. And I'm not saying that's who you play, but like you need to beat the Panthers to get into the top 8. Ultimately, I know most fans will just say, I hope they have all their players out and we get in easy. But that's not really what you want because there's no point to being in the finals. This is why I criticised 2021 and 2016 for the Titans. There is no point to being in the finals if you're not a competitive team. It really isn't. Like, you're just playing to have an extra week of footy, sure, but like, what's the ultimate point? And that's why you still criticise the Sharks right now, who are preliminary finalists in the last 2 years, but are doing jack shit with it. You want to see them do more and go on and win the competition. So whilst there are other fans who will see it and go, I just want to be in the finals, and as a Titans fan, I get it. And that's why I think most Tigers fans would still be like, I just want to be in the finals regardless. But also, I want to beat the best to be the best. I think that's pretty understandable. Turbo says, match played Raiders reserve grade. Well, okay, not the same point, but also I grant it, yeah. Like Raiders reserve grade, fair enough. I didn't even know that, but I was more so talking about like at the biggest level. But I'm sure every single coach has played some form of rugby league throughout their time, right? But I was more so referring to NRL/New South Wales Rugby League, but also that is still a similar point anyway. Ibrahim says, the only thing that is certain is Titans win the premiership. Exactly right. Dion says, don't be greedy, let May get try. What? Dion says, Bunnies looked like losing, then they pulled out the win. No, I thought the Bunnies looked real solid throughout the entirety of the game. I'm going Parramatta, don't know why. I've gone a sneaky of Parramatta. I don't know how they're, what is the odds? Like, I would have these two teams at $1.90 and you can go either side. You can just go either side of it. Ibrahim says their defense has been woeful. Some injuries to their forward-pack, and their forward-pack is so weak. Their backline is impressive as well. Tigers have looked better overall, but you never know. Okay, their defense has been woeful, but their attack is great. The Eels so far through their 4 games they've played, well, they've scored 94 points. So let's get the old calc out. Let's get the old calculator. So not 94 points they've scored. Actually, no, yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. But again, look at who they've played in comparison. 94 divided by 4 equals... So they're scoring 23.5 points per game. The Tigers are 92 divided by 3. They're scoring 30 points per game. But also, look at who they're playing in comparison. The Eels have played the 1 extra game, mind you. But also, they've played the Panthers, and they've played the Storm, and they've played the Broncos. And then the Dragons, whatever. But like those other 3 teams, 3 of the 4 preliminary finals of last year, and both grand finalists, and they beat the one who won the grand final. Whilst the Warriors have taken, the Tigers have taken on lesser opposition on previous year, maybe not so much this year, but the attack is pretty similar considering that it is 1 extra game there, but the defense of the Eels is obviously really bad compared to the Tigers where their defense has been pretty solid. So 50 divided by 3 for the Tigers is they're giving up 16 points per game so far, but again, look at the opposition, and the Eels have given up 152 divided by 4, which is a ridiculous amount. That's 38 points per game. So that is ridiculous. So the defense is not fantastic, but also look at the opposition they're playing. So the favoritism comes from the fact that they're playing better opposition and they've got the same amount of wins as the Tigers, and they're playing significantly better opposition on expectations. But again, the form this year suggests maybe potentially otherwise in regards to the other matchups. But the Broncos, since that Eels loss, have gone on to win 3 games in a row. The Storm, which was a bad loss, they were expected to be a very good season this year, and they've been in the last 2 grand finals. And the Panthers, they were in the prelim final last year. They won 4 grand finals in a row before that. Were in the grand final before that, and also are currently the best team in the league. So I can understand completely why the Eels are slight favourites, even though it should be $1.90 apiece. Bino says, how do you think the Eels fullback will go? I really don't know an insane amount here. Like in the fullback position, again, I thought it was expected to be more so in that future 5'8", but they are going to miss a bit without Isaiah Yongi. Isaiah Yongi is a solid little player, so they will miss a little bit out of him. But I think Papali'i will be able to do his job. Meow Meow says, Para have kicked out the Tongan bathtub stoner who they picked up from Para River, punching cones and feeding the seagulls. Tigers 13+. What the fuck did I just read? What on earth did I just read? What did that even say? I'm going to read this again. Para have kicked out the Tongan bathtub stoner who they picked up from Para River punching cones and feeding the seagulls. One, who are you talking about? And two, what are you talking about? Base Stars, I have a suggestion, Blaze, to make the live streams more exciting, to fill in the silences and add more atmosphere. How about on a separate device play crowd ambience? All good if you disagree. Yeah, no, I don't think that's what is necessary for these streams. I appreciate the suggestion, mate, but it would be very gimmicky if I did that. At the end of the day, if people are here, they're here to have the interactive commentary and for me to bounce back and discuss with you guys and talk with you guys, have a bit of banter, have a bit of a laugh and watch the game together. Like, that's ultimately what we're here for, and that's why... That's why it's like, even though it would be amazing to have the actual game on the screen, it would be amazing. Game starts in 10 minutes time now, by the way, so hit that like button and subscribe. But even though it would be amazing to have the actual game footage, it's not necessarily what we do here that needs that, because it's very different to what you would get from a generic commentary that you get on the official broadcast. So whilst I understand it, and in an ideal world it probably would be fantastic, you guys are not stupid. You know that I'm not at the game right now, so if you're hearing crowd noise, it would be just a little bit it will be a little bit strange, to be completely fair. But again, in an ideal world, sure, but no, it's not really what I need to do. Brenton says, we'll be listening in from work again, when I can, mate. Hoping for a close matchup. Hopefully it's a cracker game here on this Easter Monday. Nate says, g'day, big fella. Looking forward to the game, and hit the thumbs up, you bunch of bludgers. Bunch of bludgers, do whiz. Hit the thumbs up, you cats. Michael Potts' Tigers' next game is the Knights. The Knights at Campbelltown next week. That'll be a interesting game. That'll be a very interesting game. Where does the game start? Well, the game is at Combank, Yusuf, but if you're asking when does the game start, it starts in literally 8 minutes' time. Scott says, I understand your point with injuries. Don't need to see this but after it, but I don't see who beats the Panthers and Broncos. Broncos have injuries, don't see them beating Cowboys or Tigers. Sharks been off and on. Roosters, I'm not sure. Okay, so let me just clarify again. So you said, I understand your point with injuries. That's all that needs to be said there, but I don't see who beats the Panthers. Correct, because we're 5 rounds in. You don't see who beats the Panthers because we are 5 rounds in, and then you have also just accepted the injury discussion. So if you've accepted the injury discussion and you're saying you can't see who beats the Panthers, well, that's because we're only 5 rounds into the season. You're not expected to see who beats the Panthers. Someone will beat the Panthers. I know people who are very immediately reactionary are going to say they're going to go undefeated and win 29 games in a row to win the grand final. It's not going to happen. If it happens, that is the greatest season in nearly sporting history to see them go 29 undefeated games. It's just not going to happen. The longer the season goes, the more tired players are going to become. That can be a negative and a positive for other teams, because the Panthers will experience it too. They are playing very, very high energy grit defense. They're playing very, very high energy in regards to every form of the game right now. You can see them taking the step back in the second half. So let's just assume that they come up against a Bulldogs team that uses that first half to just really prevent, and they do utilize that real strong defense that they do have. And then the Panthers, with their typical selves, will slow down the second half, because you're not really going to be able to completely adjust your game plan on the way that they've built this team to be able to go heavier in the second half compared to the first half when they're going to go into that Bulldogs game. So there is definitely strategies and ways that you can try to adjust. Whether teams are good enough to actually utilize that to the best of their ability and still get that win is a whole other conversation in itself. But you've already granted the fact that injuries can happen. So, okay, well, that's more than likely going to happen at some point, at somewhere. I hope it doesn't, but it's more likely than not in the game of rugby league, a physical contact game, and the way the Panthers do play. And then it will be about how they adjust, and they still should be really, really good regardless. But they will lose Nathan Cleary to Origin. They will lose Liam Martin, Isaiah Yeo. They will lose probably Casey McLean at this point. They will lose Brian To'o. They will lose Dylan Edwards. Who else is there? There's probably other players that I'm missing out off the top of my head. Origin period, somebody will beat them. Someone will beat them. And at some point this season, they will be beat. And that is without injuries. That is without injuries. Clyde's Dragons to go winless. Oh my gosh. The same thing that I'm saying for the Panthers is going to go for the Dragons. Just take exactly what I said about Penrith and put it to the opposite scale for the Dragons. but the same point remains. Everyone says, think he's talking about Yongi. He's talking about Isaiah Yongi. Isaiah Yongi's not here today. For the Eels fullback, it's George Papali'i today. Am I missing something, or am I thinking of somebody else? George Papali'i is the fullback for the Eels today. Isaiah Yongi's out. Pete says, I mean, alongside the interaction too, I mean, like, play not the official game footage, but like crowd noise sound effects. Well, also that'll be copyright because that's their audio and their sound, but also too, it's just not necessary. It's just not needed. But again, your suggestion is fine. The question is, will the Dragons win before the Panthers lose? That's a great question to ask. Because the Dragons next week, who do the Dragons play? They play Manly, which is a winnable matchup for them, and the Panthers play the Bulldogs, which is a losable matchup for them, despite the form of the season. So it could actually just come down to this week coming up. It could. And the Panthers play the Bulldogs on Thursday, and Manly play the Dragons on Friday. After that, if the Panthers win that and the Dragons lose that, we go to round 7, where the Dragons will take on the Rabbitohs and the Panthers will take on the Dolphins. If the Panthers get easily through that Bulldogs game, I'll think it's a while before they lose. But again, it's a think, and I feel like the teams that they have after that will be a lot on the lesser scale overall. Dan says, I fully enjoy your community over watching it sometime. Your views and thoughts on games is always good. Yeah, I'm not always right. The thing is that it's not that I'm wrong, but I just look at the game in a different lens to how some people look at it. So when I say something and you disagree with it, that doesn't mean that you're wrong, and it doesn't mean that I'm wrong. It just means that we're both viewing the same thing from a different lens. And that's why I put into perspective in the Titans fan club group right now, where I made a post yesterday, and I'm a lot more critical of the Titans at the moment than I have been in recent years. And I say, well, just because I'm not the positive, this team's winning, blah, 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 100%, all guns are blazing, as I used to be, doesn't mean that I'm not as much of a supporter kind of deal. It's more so just saying that I'm looking at it. For example, I had a conversation with someone where I said that 2016 and 2021 were shit seasons because, yes, we made the finals, but we were on a losing record year on both times, and also we had to rely on other teams to lose to get in. And it's like their point was that, well, you're still making the finals. Would you rather not make the finals than make the finals? And also, you're still better than the other teams because you finish with a better points differential / more wins than them, or same wins and better points differential. So I grant that point. I say that's not wrong to think like that, because at the end of the day, you were better than 8 teams at the time, and you were in. Eels are running out into the field now, same with the Tigers. So you were better than those teams, and I grant that point, and I can see that lens of thought process. But then my thought process is, I expect better. If you're into the top 8, the only point of being in the top 8 is to be a competitive team and to actually go on and do something with it. Otherwise, you're just there making up the numbers. And getting into the top 8 based off of a losing record in 2016 and 2021, I don't consider a success because I expect more, I want more, and I want to see the club succeed. And that's not wrong as well. So these two opinions both exist, and they are opposite to each other in regards to their existence. But that doesn't mean that either one of them is wrong or either one of them is right. It's just that I look at it from this perspective and they look at it from this perspective. So people don't understand that just because you have a different opinion to me in regards to how your team is operating, say the Tigers or the Eels or whoever, just because you have this opinion compared to mine does not mean that either one of us is wrong. It just means we look at it in a different view. Colin Power says, 100% we don't need vision chatting, and your commentary is why we're here. Johnson Power says the question, I read that comment. Sundo, here we go. I'm 7 from 7, going for my second ever perfect round. Well, good luck. Second ever perfect round. Second ever. Surely you've had some perfect rounds during Origin period where it's like some teams have been decimated and there's only 5 games in the round. Surely. Brent says Origin is a good example that Painters could lose a game. Painters. I think the Panthers are probably more likely to lose a game than the Panthers, to be fair. Zach says, did you prefer your 2016 or 2021 team? 2021. 2021, I would say. Because it was but that's the most heartbreaking season in our history, man. Because we know how that ended. We do know how that ended. So they're doing a minute of silence right now for Neville Glover, part of the Eels. Minute of silence. Give me some score predictions. The game is literally about to start right now. Give me some score predictions in the chat, Ola. Sunder says, no, I suck. Well, obviously you don't. You're 7 from 7, you cat. You're a liar. Lee McQuaid says, Tigers by 10 points. Don't mind it. Edward getting around the Eels. It kills his evening. Get around you. But doing good this season at the moment, so fingers crossed. Fingers crossed, you absolutely slap it in. Justin says 26-22 to the Eels. Let's go. A high-scoring game is probably what happens here if the Eels do go on to win it. Because their defense is not good, but their attack is good. Whilst the Tigers, their defense has been very solid, whilst very good, 16 against them. Whilst their attack has been pretty good through their games. But again, the two teams have played completely opposite sides of what was expected from teams this year. Pete Starr says, Justin Holbrook, he made such a difference to the Gold Coast Titans. I think Eels 22-18. Had about a 37% win record with us, so not really. But also, it's not the club. It's the club. It's not him. With the Titans, it's not the coach. It's the club. And you've seen that now with what he's been able to do with the Knights. The Knights just needed somebody to come in who had a clue. Adam O'Brien didn't, and Justin Holbrook has, and that's in regards to attack. And now you're seeing the rewards for it, and that's why I always back in Justin Holbrook. But also, the Titans were not necessarily incorrect at the time to get rid of him. But it obviously didn't work out regardless, and it more shows a bad sign towards the club than it does to the coaches. So the Eels are going to get this ball here, and they're going to bring this ball to the 10 on first tackle. Obviously, hit that like button and subscribe. Let me... Ooh, gee whiz, I just messed that up. I'm just going to refresh this score here so that you guys can get the live score alongside it. There we go. We're rocking and rolling. The Gils's Tigers win 13 plus. Jess, good morning. Get around, Jess. So out to the right-hand side for Dylan Walker. And Walker now is going to be at the 20 on third tackle. Down says Tigers 32, Eels 18. Not an out-of-this-world scoreline. I think that worries will start to come into the Eels team long-term this season if they do lose it by that much, though. And good run here from Josh Papali. He'll bring this ball to the 45 on fifth tackle. Ben says Eels by 28-16. Also not a bad scoreline. I do expect more of a high-scoring game here today. That's going to be grabbed now by Luke Laualiti, and Laualiti brings it out to the 20 here on first tackle. I don't mind this Tigers jersey. It is very different to what you would normally expect. I would like to see a little bit more orange in the jersey, to be fair. But I guess orange and yellow do clash slightly. The Tigers now bring it to the 30 on third tackle. Daniel says, need to see a big game from Moses. He hasn't been great this year for me. Yeah, I agree, but again, look at the matchups. He's had such difficult matchups, which shouldn't be an excuse for Moses, because we know in Origin he absolutely turns up and he's a big game. He should be a big game player. He's not necessarily a consistent big game player at all, based off of his history. But he should have done better throughout the first four games. But again, he's taken on the Storm, the Broncos, and also the Panthers. 3 of the 4 preliminary finals from last year, both of the grand finalists, and the team that obviously won the grand final, and that was the team they beat. So, yeah, I would still agree with you. Looks closer to Manly colours than Tigers. So, second tackle now for the Eels, and they're going to be at the 35. Tristan says, where's the game? The game's at Combank Stadium in Sydney. Go out to the left, even though I probably understand the context of the question. Third tackle now at the 40, but I'll wait. I'll wait. Dylan Walker out to the left to Jack Williams, and Jack Williams will be at the 50 now on fourth tackle, 2.5 minutes in. Looks closer to Manly colours. Well, there's no maroon here, so I don't know how you're getting Manly colours. I guess on a close-up, the shading may look similar. Mitchell Moses, he'll put that ball into the corner. I don't really get Manly from this jersey at all, to be fair. And Laualiti, crunch back to the 5. Good hit there from Bailey Simonson, but specifically from Sean Russell. That was huge. And they'll get it to Himasi Makasani. So far, the field position battle is being won by the Eels in his opening couple of minutes. It's second tackle, and they're only at their 15 now, the Tigers on third tackle. They're really monstering the pressure and defense at the moment, Parramatta, which is what they need to do and turn up with today. Happy Saikotoi Sao. Not Happy Saikotoi Sao. It'll be Sunya Turuva to the 25, 2 Fijian guys, though. Colin says, if Para get up, I will be 5 from 8, better than last week. Most people are going through some tough weeks in regards to the old tipping. But the Eels will get this ball now to the 30, 35 through Josh Papali, who is their fullback today. Again, I need to remind people, Isaiah Yongi is not in this game here today. He is out. Young Days, who do you think will score first? Well, I tipped Eels, so I may as well back in the Eels to score first there. I'm going to go with like a... Well, I know one of our subscribers here has got 7 from 7 on a try scorer per game. They've lost the ball here, the Eels, so now the Tigers are going to come up with it at their own 40. That's going to be 0 tackle here for the Tigers. Samuel Faionu with a big offload there to Turova. Turova at the 50. Okay, well, here's a chance. And there's going to be a penalty coming up here, actually, for the Tigers. He's taking it past the horizontal. Penalty to the Tigers. That's huge. They're going to go into the attack right now. Okay, well, ignore the last 2 minutes worth of conversation. I'm going to say the Tigers score first. No, I'll still bat Eels, but that is a dangerous tackle, and this is going to be Tigers ball, probably about 25... probably about 30 metres away is where they'll kick it to, and it is literally to the 30. P-Stars, what advice would you give to a team who just seems to, when near the red zone, pass it short for a hit-up or turn it forward back inside, but don't pass out the back? Enough maybe due to lack of confidence. Yeah, well, you need to find the confidence. You're professional players. You're paid good money to be in the game, and the club believes in you, and the fans believe in you, your family believes in you, and you believe in yourself. So at the end of the day, you guys should be able to throw the ball around a bit more and be confident that you're going to be able to break through the defense. At the end of the day, the defense is only human. The Panthers are only human at the end of the day. Adam Dewey will be at the 15, third tackle. So they're just going to have confidence that they can throw the ball around a bit more. Like the Dragons are just so pointless right now. They may as well just risk it to get the biscuit. Fanor Bolle, 4th tackle for the Tigers at the 10. 5 minutes in. Korowi Sau, he'll go to the right to Jock Madden. Jock Madden back to Twal, and he'll get an offload away, but it's going to bounce away for Terrell May. Terrell May running, he'll get it across to Dream Buller, and Dream Buller smacked down at the 20 by Kitiona Kautonga. Korowi Sau to Jock Madden. Madden puts that ball up. The chase through here from the Tigers, and that's going to... Whoa! We didn't even need to hit that ball dead. It was going to go dead anyway, but dropout coming up from to the Tigers. Penalty! Penalty to the Tigers. They've had a play taken out. Brian Kelly. Yeah, he is escorting. It is an escort from Brian Kelly, because otherwise Valentino Tavana... I think that was Tavana who was going to get to that. I think it was Tavana coming through. So, yeah, penalty to the Tigers. They'll be 10 metres out. William says, don't know if it's my end, but I cannot hear you. I think it is your end, because for me, it's saying that it's fine. For me, it says that it's all good. So, the Tigers now on up beside Korowi Sau. They'll be at the 10 on Terrell May, first tackle. Who win? Well, I've taken the Eels, but the Tigers have gotten off to the better start here, and they're attacking the line right now. Alex Twal, he is 3 metres away from the line. On third tackle. And 6 again. Don't worry about that. First tackle. Korowi Sau to Jock Madden. Samuela Faionu. And Faionu punches this ball to the 3 on first tackle. That attack was versus the Bulldogs. Were Bulldogs. But at least they got a good fit tackle kick. I don't know what you're saying. Dream Buller goes out. Hits the grass. Otherwise it would have been a try. Oh no, there's going to be obstruction if he scored. Yet lucky he didn't score. Second tackle here for the Tigers, the 5. They roll it back to Suna Turova. Turova after Terrell May. Terrell May runs it himself to the 6, and it's going to be third tackle here. Scramble defense from the Eels isn't too bad on this set at the moment. Korowi Sau out to Jock Madden. Jock Madden to Dream Buller. Buller to Dewey. Dewey short ball to Samuela Faionu. So close, 3 metres away from the line. Fourth tackle. That was a good tackle, but also, again, need to see Faionu run that ball harder into the line, man. That's what I've been wanting to see from him this season. He's done it a lot more this year than previous. He will be one of the best back rowers in the game, in my opinion, if he just runs the ball damn well hard. So the Tigers, Jock Madden, he'll put that up in the air. Samuela Faionu is coming through for it. He catches it, he pulls, he pushes, he gets the offload away. Tigers still fit tackle. Korowi Sau maybe locked up, does get locked up there, and it is Eels ball at the 5. He's actually lost the ball, so he'll be back out at the 10. That was good defense there from Parramatta. That was good. The Tigers threw a bit at him, and this is looking like a bit of a frenetic game at the moment. So stays 0-0, and they didn't call it as a knock on, even though they probably should have been. It'll be first tackle for the Eels, and they're going to be at the 10. Riley Smith with a great run at the 25-second tackle. I was about to say there's a really good atmosphere at this game right now, but I always question the atmosphere at CommBank because I know full well they use crowd noise across. That's a 6 again here for the Eels. They use crowd noise in the speaker system. So always be very wary of an atmosphere at CommBank. Even though I've been to CommBank and the atmosphere can be amazing, they enhance it with the audio. So they go out to Junior Bolo. It'll be second tackle now for the Eels at the 45. Who's the referee? The referee is Peter Goff. Jonah Pezzett to Kitiona Kautonga. Strong run to the 35 on third tackle. He's claiming maybe a high tackle or something right now. He's taking a while to get up. Oh, no, he's grabbing at his calf here, his right calf. And they are going to penalise him. They are going to penalise the Tigers, so the Eels now go on to the attack. They were able to prevent. They earned their right to attack, and now let's see it. Let's see him do it. Yeah, Koroisau does come onto the back of the legs of Kautonga. That is classed as a penalty. So hip drop on report there for Apisai Koroisau. Tigers had no idea in their 10. Yeah, it's true. They didn't really look like they had too much of an idea in that those attacking sets they had. I like Adam G. I don't mind petting off too much, but man, Adam G lets the game flow. He has his good moments and he has his bad moments. I'd say that if I was to prefer a referee, more often than not, I would say Adam G. Yes, he had that great grand final performance. Outside of that, he can be quite inconsistent, but I would prefer him to the likes of Ashley Klein or Jared Sutton. I don't think Peter Goff is too bad. Grant Atkins is 50-50, but Adam G also has a ridiculous reputation based off of the one grand final, but also I'd probably still lean with him more often than not. So second tackle here for the Eels. They're 15 minutes away. Junior Bolo, 10 metres out from the line. 10 minutes gone here, folks. 30 minutes to go in the first half. Hit that like button and subscribe. We are live for every single game. We have not missed a single game so far this year. Mitchell Moses out to Jonah Pezet. Kicks his ball through for Kautonga. Oh, that's going to be a dropout. Jeez. He tripped up. I think Torova would have got there regardless, but it will be a dropout coming up from the Eels to from the Tigers to the Eels. Young Day says, do you know when Lomax will be back? Young Day, do you watch this sport? Young Day, is this your first game? Do you watch this sport? Nick Gill says, last season you had to touch your face. This season you have to grab your ankle. Young Dad says, I'm new. Okay, so he doesn't play in this sport anymore, my man. He plays in rugby union now. Oh, that's going to come backwards from the Eels. Jeez, that was crazy in the air. First tackle of the Eels. Zach Lomax doesn't play for the Eels. There was a whole massive kerfuffle. And this is why I was taking the piss a little bit just then. Because there was a whole massive media schmozzle that happened this year with him. Then again, there's a media schmozzle with that Muppet all the time. He doesn't play for the Eels anymore. Trying to pass it short ball. Brian Kelly. Great scramble D. They get the offload away though. Kautonga 3 minutes out. This is actually a crazy game at the moment. 11 minutes in. I can't believe the Tigers held him out just then. That was good defense. No, you don't need to be sorry, Young Day. We have a bit of banter and whatnot, man. But they go to the right-hand side. And Simonson with the try time for the Eels. In the corner, Bailey Simonson will go over, and it is try time. Parramatta 4-0 with a kick to come. It's actually a big pickup. 4-0 with a kick to come. Simonson is in. Yeah, no, you don't need to be sorry, Young Day, but that's just how we have a bit of banter and stuff on the channel. It was actually really impressive that the Tigers didn't give up the try to Brian Kelly, though. First try always loses. Yeah, well, why don't you go and tell me that about the Broncos-Titans game on Saturday, Justin? How about that? First try always loses, eh? Well, I tried to say this on Saturday, and how did that one pan out for me, sir? Nick Hill says, some hardcore fans here, but it's never a bad time to learn about the game. No, absolutely. Absolutely. Good to see we have new fans of the game, and they'll get used to our banner style as well. Try time, bing bong, mudda beach. So, yeah, you should be sorry, Sunday. You should be damn well sorry. But it was a good pass there from... Oh, it wasn't actually a good pass from Sean Russell. It was a pretty poor pass, but Bailey Simonson still able to pick it up. Did he go out? I don't think he did. When the wingers, you always think, oh, maybe they've gone out, but you just don't usually expect it. They usually know exactly where their body is at all times. So 2 this season, 36 in his career for Bailey Simonson. It's funny, I still see him as a Raider, man. I don't know why. He's been at the Eels long enough now. I still see him as a Raider. This is a difficult kick here for Mitchell Moses on that right wing. And Mitchell Moses will miss the kick from the sideline, and it will stay 4-0. Good crowd here, though. Watch it drinking. Pure vodka, mate. Pure vodka. Mixed, and tequila. Vodka and tequila with a little bit of rumbo inside as well. Outside of that, just Coke Zero, man. I don't drink on these streams. Parramatta rejected Zach Lomax joining the Melbourne Storm. Good. So the Tigers coming back to the halfway point to kick this ball off. They would be disappointed. Obviously, they had those attacking opportunities, and the Eels held them out, and then they've just got up the other end of the field and scored pretty much straight away, Parramatta. It's a good sign for Parramatta, though, because their defense has been just absolutely horrific so far this season, whilst their attack has been solid. And the Tigers, they've had kind of both, but again, against, lesser opposition. So the Eels would be pretty happy with that, but the Tigers would be pretty disappointed. I've never seen Coke Zero cans that big before. I actually prefer them that size. Oh, well, yeah, this is in Thailand. Eels out to the right. Oh, nearly high tackle. And it is a high tackle for the Eels. Penalty. Parramatta, Tigers, you got to get back and control this game. Jock Madden gives away the penalty. And the Eels are about to go back onto the attack. In Thailand, there's like multiple different sizes of this. So there's this size, which is not even the biggest size, actually. This isn't the biggest one. There's ones that are like this big and this wide. Then this would be the second biggest size. Then there's one that's like this size, and then there's one that's like that size. So yeah, they have whole different sizes. So they go to the left. That looks like a 330 milliliter can. I'm sure they do also do 440. They do, yeah, they do bigger ones. They go out to Moses, then to Kitiona Kautonga, and he's 30 meters away from the line. That looks like a small size. No, this is the normal size. This isn't, okay, it's not big or anything. Out to the right, Simonson hits the grass, maybe 6 again, but I think it might have come off his head. No, it is 6 again. Okay, so it's going to be Eels 6 again at the 25. George Papali, he'll get the ball to the 20. Did they call 6 again? I think they did. Yeah, they did. Okay, so first tackle here for the Eels at the 20, and now Junior Bolo will be at the 15 on second tackle. Less than 330. Is it less than 330? I don't know, because it's in tie. I don't have the number here. Jack Williams on third tackle. He'll be 9 meters out from the line. Tigers have to do plenty of defense at the moment. Dylan Walker, Mitchell Moses, he steps. He's taken down to the 10 on, I think, 4th tackle. They don't have the tackle count on the screen right now. Riley Smith, Kalma Tuolangi, 2 meters out. Is that 5th tackle? Oh, no, we must have given it another 6 again at some point. I think this is only... Oh, Junior Bolo! I think he scored! Junior Bolo has scored for the Parramatta Eels, and it's 8-0 with a kick to come. Oh, boy, Junior Bolo out of nowhere has just crash-played himself right over the white line. It is a try time for Parramatta. 8-0 with a kick to come. The big rig. The big rig is over. Well, the Eels, they're asking big questions of the Tigers right now. It is 8-0 with a kick to come, and Sunday, plenty of time to go, but the old Tigers look a little bit dubious at the moment. Look a little bit dubious. Jared Ashby says, if you combine the Tigers and Eels squads, could they beat the Panthers? Interesting question. Fullback-wise, you'd go probably Dream. On the wings, you would probably go... Wings is an interesting question. I'm going to base it off purely... Oh, no, because I'll add in Jerome Luai too, but... I'll base it off the teams outside of Luai today. So Dream, I'd take over Joe. So it'd be Dream. On the wings, I would probably go Adokar. And over these wingers today, I'd take Bailey Simonson. So I'd take Bailey Simonson, Adokar. Then in the centres, you would probably have maybe Taylor May and Sunatarova. Maybe Taylor May and Sunatarova, even though I don't, BK is too up and down. I'd go, Dream Buller, Simonson, Adokar, Taylor May, Sunatarova. 5/8 would have Luai. Halfback, you'd go Mitchell Moses. The forwards, you'd have Terrell May and Junior Barlow. Number 9, you'd have Api Saikoro-Isao. Back row, you'd probably go with... I'd maybe go Kalma and Samuela. Kalma Tuolangi and Samuela Faioni, but I could hear the argument for Kaipi's Paul. And then the 13, Dylan Walker at 12. I probably do actually go 12, funnily enough. I do actually, funnily enough, probably take 12 over Dylan Walker. Oh, no. Brian Kelly has knocked the ball on off the kickoff, and it's Tigers ball 10 metres away here from the Eels line, and that is the Cardinal Centre of Rugby League. You drop the ball on first tackle, or you drop the ball on the set. I know all about it as a Titans fan. We do it every gosh darn time this year. The Titans do this well. It's the next Titans play. Well, there you go. So that does ring a bell there. But the Tigers will go on the attack 10 minutes out. So, yeah, my My combined lineup right now would be Dream, Simon Sonato, Carr, Truva, Taylor May, who's injured, Luai, Moses, Terrell May, Bolo, Kotoi Sau, Samuela Fainu, Tuolangi, and Alex Twell. Oh no, on first tackle the Tigers have made a mistake. Oh my gosh. So you get a right prime opportunity to score, and Lalali'i will make a mistake here for the Tigers, and now it's back to the Eels at their own 10. Oh, swings from the scrum, and straight away, you can't punish him. Lalali'i knocks the ball on. Straight away, you cannot capitalise, and it's back to the Eels ball. Williams says, bro, Eels party tonight. Well, there's still 62 minutes left of this game. Pete has 14, 15, 16, 17. Who would you pick from those combined teams? You'd probably be checking Kai Peace Paul. Oh my gosh, the Eels have made a mistake off of the scrum. What is happening in this game? What is happening? We saw Brian Kelly knock the ball on off the kickoff. We then saw the Tigers knock the ball off the scrum. And then we saw the Eels knock the ball off the scrum. So now it's Tigers 0 tackle, first tackle at 3. Insane. Insane the last 2 minutes of play. The Tigers, Samuela Fainu, he is 10 metres away from the line. Insane what we've just witnessed. Insane. Kotoi Sau, he'll go to, not Terrell May, he'll go to Jock Madden. And Madden then to Alex Twell. And Twell will be taken down. He's lost the ball. Oh, lucky you get a penalty for it. Oh my gosh. I'm going to lose my mind. It's going to be offside. If it wasn't offside here, it would have been another knock-on for the Tigers, Alex Twell. Oh my gosh, I'm going to lose my mind. It's actually an enjoyable game, but this last minute and a half, 2 minutes has been diabolical. Diabolical. So for Norbole, he's 4 metres away from the line. First tackle. 4 metres away. Kotoi Sau to Terrell May, and he's just going to run this ball into the line. Second tackle at the 4. Yeah, so this is what happens when rugby league's played on a Monday. That is correct. Fainu, not run the ball into the line hard. Run the ball hard, Fainu. You are going to... I think he is like Olakau'atu if he runs the ball hard, which he doesn't tend to do. Out to the right to Fanuapole. 2 metres out. Jeez, that was close. 4 tackle. It's a good run, though. Kotoi Sau, that should be 6 again. They were all quick off the mark. They get it quickly off to... Falatino Tovana, who will go over the sideline. Oh no, he's actually stayed in the field of play, and it's a 6 again for the Tigers. What is happening in this game? What is happening right now? Kotoi Sau is at the 15, Terrell May, and it's going to be second tackle now for the Tigers at the 10. Decent run there from Terrell May. You have to capitalise here, though, Tigers. You have to. Jock Madden, Adam Dewey. Dewey steps, comes back in, and he will get away from the tackle of Riley Smith, and then he'll get crunched in and lose the ball. Oh, my gosh. I'm going to lose my mind. I'm going to lose my mind. I'm going to lose my mind. I'm going to lose my mind! I'm going to lose my mind. I'm going to lose my mind. I'm going to lose my mind. It's a knock on there from Adam Dewey. I'm going to lose my mind. I'm losing my mind. 20 minutes gone in the first half, 20 minutes to go. Hit that like button and subscribe. In the last 2.5 minutes of play, we have seen the Eels knock on. Then we have seen the Tigers knock on. And then we've seen the Eels knock on. But hold on, there's more. We've then seen the Tigers knock on. Tupvui says, Brum still angry at the Titans game. I'm always in a permanent state of anger at the Titans. So the Eels are going to be at the 15 or 12 on first tackle. Sandra says, I think I'm going to go back to sleep at this point. Well, I'm actually enjoying the game, but the last 2 minutes of play has given me an aneurysm. Second tackle here at the 20. Trey Horns, don't do this to us. Says, calling it an Eels knock-on coming. Don't do this to us, champion. What are you doing? Let him get through the set, and then let the Tigers get through the set so that I can stop having a heart attack live on stream. 6 again for the Eels at the 35. And Moses brings it to the 40 now on first tackle. Oh, dearie me. Dearie me. Eels now at the 47 on second tackle. William Seneca, and he's always getting around the Eels. Well, they're up right now, and Brian Kelly will bring this ball to the... oh, it's a strip! It's a strip there. Have they said that's an... There can't be an offload because it went forward, so it must have been a strip, and then... Well, then how is it still third tackle? Because it definitely went forward from Brian Kelly. Oh, no. It's hit the grass. I'm going to lose my mind. Eels are going to be at the 40 on fourth tackle. I don't know how the referee has not made a call there, because it was either an Eels knock on or a 2 in the tackle strip from the Tigers. I don't know how it's play on, no fresh set restart, if anything. Mitchell Moses will put this ball to the 5, and Simonson, they just get up in a line, no real kick pressure, and Marcassini will take this ball out to the 10. I'm going to put glue on my hands. Well, there's no point to you doing that, mate, because here's a surprise for you. You're not in this game. Second tackle here for the Tigers at the 13. Jaden says, the both teams playing past the parcel pretty much right now. Jareen Buller out to the 25 on third tackle. And Cotterwy's out to Jock Madden, and a kick on third tackle here, but the Eels fullback is back. Why? Why? That serves absolutely no purpose. Now the Eels are at the 42 on their own side of the field, first tackle. That serves no purpose. The Eels fullback was back. Only kick early there if you're going to find grass. You didn't find grass, so that kick now gives the advantage to the Eels. Aaron says, Tigers were down 12-0 against the Warriors also, and looked rough in the first 20 minutes, so I have hope still. Yeah, sure. This game's playing very differently to that game, though. Dylan Walker, Jonah Pez at short ball to Kaltonga, and he's going to be at the 35 on fourth tackle. Riley Smith up to Junior Bolo. Bolo to Dylan Walker. Walker back to Moses. Moses to Kelma Tuolangi. He is at the 20 on fifth tackle now. Riley Smith to Moses. A little dink underneath. Terrell May will pick it up. He'll get it off to Dream Buller. And Buller will beat the 5. Eels are putting the pressure on her. I'll grab some vodka, Blaze. Maybe. I don't even drink, man, but like I did buy like a couple of beers that I've never tasted before last week. You guys would have seen that on the Titan stream against the Dragons. So I still have those 3 of the beers that I didn't have. Marcassini is still down here. He's still down injured, but he's going to get up and play the ball. And he's still complaining maybe about his ribs or something. I don't think he's trying to claim a penalty. I think he's complaining about his ribs here. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with the tackle. I think he's just been crunched in the ribs. Concert says, if these players don't be careful and they keep dropping the ball, they will end up with the Dragons contract. Well, if you guys aren't following me on Instagram, at BKRsport, go and do it now. But I'm going to pin that comment instead, because that is a good comment. That is a top tier comment, that one. All right, so Tigers, fifth tackle, their own 20. Wow. Jock Madden now kicks this one down to the 20 on the Eel side. At least that's a decently sized kick. So that's going to be Sione Faionu coming on now for Whanopole. And Joshua Dakar brings it out to the 35 on first tackle. It'll be interesting what Benji has to say at half-time if it's still nil at half-time. There's still 16 minutes to go here. But Ado Kara is now complaining about his ribs. God bless him. He's now grabbing at his ribs. And it makes it even better because Cosrips is a Dragons fan. So I don't feel shit for pinging that, because it's like it's a Dragons fan making the comment. If it was like somebody else making that comment, I'd feel like shit to the Dragons fans. But that is a Dragons fan making that comment. The ref is just confused that he's working on Monday. I love having this Monday game. I love it. It means it's only a 3-day turnaround to the next one too. This is just a great tackle here. It was just a really good rib tickler. So first tackle for the Eels. They're at the 40. And Brian Kelly brings the ball out to the 45 now on second tackle. A lot that the Tigers need to improve on here in this first half. The Eels will get this ball to the 45. Eels have been pretty solid though. Pretty happy with what they've done here today so far. Dylan Walker will be at the 38. I still remember the season we had Monday games. It was great. We had Monday night games for a while, didn't we? That's a 6 again. I remember turning up to Skill Park, I think it was at the time. I might have turned to Seabus. Either Skill Park or Seabus, same thing. I remember going on Monday nights and we'd always get romped, and it was the worst, dude. Monday night games used to be the worst. First tackle. What? Oh, no. Oh, my gosh. That is... Jonah Pezzett, please give yourself a slap across the face. If I'm the coach of the Eels right now, I call down and I say, please get him on the microphone so that I can swear at him. Just so that I could swear at him, because that is disgraceful that he's kicked that ball on first tackle on an attacking set 30 metres out. It's incredible. Now you've put the Tigers onto the attack. 6 again for the Tigers at the 40 on the Eel side of the field. If the Tigers score here, it is purely at fault of Jonah Pezzett, because that was just dumb. It was dumb footy. It was dumb footy. Second tackle here for the Tigers. No, they get the offload away. Up beside Cottery South, the 25 to 20. Here's the time to punish him. 15 metres out. Great run by Cottery South. Second tackle. I can't believe what I just witnessed there from Jonah Pezzett. Like, that is infuriating. I'm not even an Eels fan. Out to the right, hits the grass. Stream Baller picks it up. He's 20 out. Gives it to Turuva. And Turuva to the 10 on third tackle. Now they'll go to Adam Dewey. And Dewey off to Alex Twal, who gets crunched down to the 13. Huge hit there from Jack Williams. Cottery South and Jock Madden, they've really looked answerless so far when it's come to the attack, though, the Tigers. And Fitz tackle, they're 9 metres out. They really are looking empty when it comes up with the attack as we speak. Jock Madden, he's going to switch back to the... Oh, it's a knock-on. Is it a knock-on? Did he actually come up with that? Either way, the Tigers don't score. No, it is going to be a knock-on against the Tigers. So Eels ball to 10. They really have looked answerless when it comes to the attack so far. They actually messed themselves up there. I do think Tavana catches that ball if Kai Pearce-Paul isn't putting his hand up for it. I honestly feel like if Kai Pearce-Paul wasn't there, Tavana had a good chance to score. Eels defending well too. Eels doing fine. You know, they're doing solid. They're doing exactly what they need to do right now. Nikhil says, maybe those Mondays was all about the TV deals, but NRL quickly realised they couldn't get people to the games. Yeah, but Mondays will return when we, especially when we get to the 20 teams in the competition. When we get to the 20 teams, oh, there might be a penalty here, and there is... No, he's blown the whistle to tell him to just play the ball, you cat. Mondays will return. I'm sure that next year we're going to have 3 games on Sunday, 3 games on Saturday, 2 games on Friday, and 1 game on Thursday. But then when you get the Papua New Guinea team in, and then when you get the 20th team, which I assume is New Zealand, that's a 40-20 attempt here from Pezzett. No, doesn't go to the sideline, but it's a good kick regardless. And the Tigers now, they'll bring this ball out to the 20 on first tackle. Once you get those 2 extra teams in Papua New Guinea and the 20 team being maybe New Zealand, you'll see a Monday game come in. 2 Thursday, 3 Friday, 3 Saturday, 3 Sunday is going to be glorious. There's no way you're going to get 3 Fridays. 3 Fridays, no chance. Absolutely no chance. It's going to be time off here, tackle 3 at 35. What you're saying, you think that they're going to put... You'll get nobody to games on a working day. Oh, there's an injury here for the Eels. God bless him. He is on the ground, not feeling well here. He is not feeling well here. It is Sean Russell of the Eels. We both know how Sunya can get. It's so funny. It's just a head clash here between Makasini and Sean Russell. But I love that the referee just said we both know how Sunya can get. Your hours are going to be insane. Yeah, my hours will be insane, Brighton, when we do get these extra teams in. But the 3 Friday games will never happen. 2 Thursday is possible because you already do the 2 on the Friday. 2 Thursdays is possible. 2 on the Friday is typical. 3 on the Saturday and 3 on the Sunday. But you're never going to see 3 Friday games. The only way you would potentially see 3 Friday games is due to the time difference with Perth. And if there's a Perth home game, you could have... So there's still an injury here for Sean Russell. God bless him. So there's the 6 p.m. game and the 8 p.m. game. Now, I think Perth is, typically 2 to 3 hours behind? Oh, they're looking at the ref here. Is he about to make a call? Mitch? He's telling Mitchell Moses to come across here. What's happening here? It's a head clash. But he actually rushes out of the line. No control of himself. They're going to penalise the Tigers because of the duty of care. Wow. A head clash is going to be a penalty here to the Tigers. That's something you don't typically see. Yeah, Mitchell Moses is saying, I've never heard that. What are we, rugby union? This isn't rugby union here. This isn't what we call... What? That's not a rule, though. But that's not a rule, though. It's an accidental head clash there. I get the duty of care, but also that's not a rule. You have just made up a rule on the spot. Man can cast himself against a penalty against him, but that doesn't make it just doesn't make sense because there's no rule. Well, so what are you claiming as the penalty here? A high tackle, but it's an accidental head clash. Samuel says you cannot make contact with the head. Again, it's an accidental head clash. We see this literally nearly every single game. It is not a rule. He shouldered his head. No, again, it's an accidental head clash. It's not a shoulder to the head. He said that it's a duty of care, and that although he even admitted that it was a head clash. I don't know what you're talking about. He literally admitted, the referee said, it's an accidental head clash, but there's a duty of care. That's not the rule, though. So whilst I understand what they're trying to do, that's not a rule. So I think the Eels should be feeling pretty harshly done by there. I get the duty of care, but I feel like they should be harshly done by because the referees have skirted the rules to call out a penalty. Adam Dewey to someone at the 20, but I don't know where you're getting he shouldered his head. That is not correct. Even the referee said it was a head clash, and we all saw that it was a head clash. I don't know what game we're watching here if you thought that was a shoulder to the head. So the Tigers are now at the 15 on first tackle through Alex Twell. He rushed out of the line. Again, Ned Kelly, that's fine, but it's not the rule. So what I'm saying, they're going to Dewey, and Dewey's going to score here as well. Oh, dude, that's rough for the Eels. It is. What you're not understanding is that I understand the duty of care, but also they've skirted the rules to call this because it's not actually a rule. We see accidental head clashes every single week. This is going down a rugby union trajectory where that would, in rugby union, actually potentially be a bin, to be fair. But again, in our game, it's different because that's not actually a rule. So Dewey is going to score over the Tigers. It's going to be 10-4. But if you're the Eels, you would be super confused here because we see accidental head clashes literally every single game. His shoulder makes contact with his head. Again, not what's been called. Literally not what's been called. He's not making wrapping motion. Again, literally not what's been called. Literally nothing of what you're saying has been called. You are talking for the sake of talking at the moment. That is not what was called. The referee said it was an accidental head clash. He is going against what you're saying. I know you're trying to defend the call, but he's not even defending on the same note that you're defending. You are defending something that the referee wasn't calling. The referee said it was an accidental head clash. So what are you talking about? Bev Up says, I bet on the West Tigers, am I cooked? No, the game is well and truly on. It's only 10-4 right now with the kid to come. Dewey's just scored. 10 minutes to go, the first half here, folks. Hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. Even though it's an accidental head clash. No, but there's no even though it's an accidental head clash. He called it an accidental head clash, didn't say anything about shoulder making contact with his head, and didn't say anything about wrapping motion. He literally just said it's a duty of care. He's rushed out of the line. Trey Horn said, I think he called that he just used his head with no shoulder contact to make a hit to another player's head, which I think he said was careless on the player's head. Sure. It's just such a dubious line of conversation here because there's no... I would like to see him explain his decision because if he says that, sweet. But also, I think it is just... It is something that they've done to protect the player, which I'm all for, but also I'm trying to figure out how they've actually called it when we see that every single week. They'll get the kick there. It's just it's really unfortunate that we've seen a serious injury from it. For example, if Sean Russell doesn't stay down injured just then, if he doesn't actually get injured from that, it wasn't even a penalty. It wasn't even a penalty. If he hadn't have stayed down, the only reason they even acknowledged it was because of the fact that Sean Russell was still down. Do you understand what I'm saying? Bill Up says, I'm from New York and degenerate. I don't know anything about Australian sports. Well, welcome to the party. It is only a 4-point game right now. Jason Finesses, did they score a touchdown? No, they scored a try. Maybe the referee's interpreting that it wasn't accidentally because he ran up too quickly and wasn't safe, something like that. But then that goes down to how can you know that something's accidental and something's intentional? And there's no way that Sean Russell is deliberately injuring himself there. It's like then that point is just like, well, you can't decide intention in regards to that, and also Sean Russell's the one who's been injured from it. Nate J says, Bev Up, if you voted for Mamdani, you're cooked. We're not going down a political path. The Tigers now, Samuel Fainu, he's going to be at the 35 on first tackle. 6 again here for West Tigers. They go out to Alex Twell, and Alex Twell is going to be at the 45. Anyway, whether you agree with the opinion I'm saying or not, I know you can understand the conversation that I'm having. I'm not necessarily even saying that it's wrong. I'm just trying to figure out how they've come to the conclusion that they could be right with skirting the rules to get to that point. Stephen says, Tigers can't go to sleep now. Swamp the Eels PNG fan. Well, good luck. Third tackle over the Eels, now fourth at the 40. And they'll be at the 35. McGregor says, Australian men's sports slowly changing into women's sports. Are you complaining about the head clashes then? So 4th tackle, Jock Madden, and Madden's going to be at the 15 on 5th tackle. They go to the right to Dewey, knock on from the Tigers, and the Eels will get the ball here at the 10 on 0 tackle. Pete Starr says, there's such a harsh penalty because you can't challenge it. Well, I don't think that challenging it would have done no purpose because ultimately the bunker is the one who's made the decision. It wasn't Peter Goff who made the decision. The bunker has made the call to say, hey, listen, no duty of care, so we're going to penalise it. So challenging it would have been irregardless anyway. They would have lost it. Bailey Simonson's going to get this ball now to the 15 on 2nd tackle. Ned Kelly says, I agree with you. Where in the rules is there a duty of care? That's Eels the ball at 22. That's exactly what we're talking about in regards to the interpretation. It's just so difficult. Even though there is a duty of care and there should be a duty of care, it's just like, well, it's so hard to kind of figure all this out. 5th tackle, either way, it's happened. So 5th tackle at the 35, regardless, it's happened, but it is a conversation. So I'll go to the right. I think it does depend on who is in the bunker. What? So the Tigers are now at the 15. The bunker was the one who made the decision, so challenging the call regardless would have ended up being a lost challenge. 1st tackle, because that's how they've interpreted it. I feel like this weekend I've seen a lot of players down in games. There has been quite a few injuries this weekend, unfortunately, especially for the Wires. 2nd tackle here for the Tigers. Kotoi Sau gets it to Faratino Tovana, who is at the 45. And Kotoi Sau runs it himself here, all the way to the 40 on the Eel side of the field. The momentum is slightly swinging. The Tigers dream baller off to Jock Madden, and Jock Madden brings this ball to the 30. He'll get it up to Kotoi Sau, then to Samuela Fainu, then off to Makasini, and Makasini is at the 20. It is only a 4-point game as we speak. 4 points the difference. Jock Madden, that's going to be a curler. Goes to Tavana, off to Kai Pearce-Paul. Kai Pearce-Paul still going here. Oh, I don't know if he actually gets this down, and I don't think, this is going to be an interesting call here in the bunker because the ball is been held up. I think whatever the referee called here is what they're going to call. It's going to be inconclusive. It's going to be difficult to see the ball touch the ground here, but I actually think it would have and probably did touch the ground. Maybe not actually. No, Brian Kelly has held that up the entire time. I thought it was going to be inconclusive regardless, but either way... Oh, his hand's underneath it there too. That's actually unbelievable from Brian Kelly. Wowee. Sonnet says can't give it because ref didn't, I think. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I think it was going to be inconclusive regardless, but either way, you've actually seen the ball didn't touch. You've actually seen the ball didn't touch. So 6 minutes to go here now, the first half. Okay, so Bev up, we're going to move on from that, man. Just enjoy the game and whatnot. If you're betting and oh, he's lost the ball. He's lost the ball there, Brian Kelly. He's claiming it's a strip, but they're not going to call it, so the Eels are going to be on the back foot. Tigers with the ball to 15. If you're betting so significantly on games you don't understand, you nearly deserve to lose. I'm sorry to say it, but you have apparently put a lot of money on a sport that you don't even watch. So, the fact that you're talking like this in the chat is just mind-blowing. First tackle now at the 13. Again, enjoy the game, enjoy the stream, get involved, but also we don't need to be hearing about jumping off buildings and stuff when you've bet on a sport that you don't even watch. Second tackle now at the 15 for Alex Twal. He's going to roll this ball now to Apisai Kotoi Sau. And then off to Royce Hunt with a great run. He's 5 metres away from the line. Tigers with the ball. Third tackle. Kotoi Sau gets it at the back here to Jock Madden. Oh, dude, Jock! Oh, wow, this game's crazy at the moment. Fourth tackle, 2 minutes away from the line. So close. Kotoi Sau, he's going to fake it to Fainu. He gets it back to the right-hand side to Adam Dewey. Dewey's rolling around. He'll get it across now to Dream Buller. Dream Buller to Kai Pearce-Paul. Kai Pearce-Paul. Dream Buller. Dream Buller! With a try time for the Tigers, and it is about to be a 10-10 ball game, and the Tigers are about to take the lead. Jareem the Dream Baller, baby. Jareem the Dream Baller with the try time. Jareem the Dream Baller with the try time there. And the crowd is going off, son. This is the error from Brian Kelly. But Kai Pearce, oh, he does strip it too. He does strip it too. The Eels have had a couple of harsh calls against him. It was definitely a strip there from Kai Pearce-Paul. And the Tigers have ultimately ended up being able to score on the back of it too. Wowee. Wowee. It's a missed call there from the referee that has ultimately ended up in a Tigers try, but it's a good try there. Kaipe's pulled off the dream baller, who then scores. Justin says, Tigers have led at halftime of every game this year. Cosgrove says, Dream Baller will look good in the red V when he signs after turning 31. Well, Peter Goff, Mitchell Moses has right to complain in regards to the fact that that ball definitely was stripped there from Kaipe's ball. He quite literally grabs at the ball and takes it up like that, but he's missed it. And either way, that's what happens. Either way, that is what happens. So, the Tigers are more than likely about to lead. They are more than likely going to make it 12-10 any moment now. Jock Madden to convert. Right before half time. 1 second here, guys. Three and a half to go. Crazy, crazy game, though. It is crazy. You love when you can have the conversation about controversy. You don't love the controversy, but you love the conversation about controversy. And there has been a lot of discussion points in this game. Jock Madden should be getting this from basically right in front. And Jock Madden will make the kick. So it is 12 points to 10 to the Tigers with 3 minutes and 38 seconds to go here of the first half. Nikhil says, some people love betting more than the sport itself. Again, this is what the NRL has tried to do, though. That's why they've gone to Vegas, because they want people watching the game via the gambling, and then maybe they can get invested from it, but ultimately they're making the kickbacks from the gambling. Benji Aura farming on the sidelines. My dream baller with the try time, and all right. All right, so the Eels, they'll kick this ball down to the in-goal, where it'll be Falatino Tavana gives it and just hold the ball this set. As a Titans fan, I have nightmares watching teams score and then their follow-up set, because every single time we knock the ball on, so I'm just hoping that other teams don't follow suit. Ibrahim says, I really don't see the Eels winning from here. Eels have no proper centre defending and Tigers all have the momentum. Yeah, there's 43 minutes to go here. The game is a 2-point game. A lot can happen, but sure. We're not even at half-time yet. Oh, come on. Guys, why are we so... Oh, and there's a knock on Tigers. And the Eels are away and the Eels are going to score. Why are we so immediately reactionary? Why are we so immediately reactionary? I cannot believe it. The Eels, oh wow. And, the Eels are actually going to knock this ball on at the 1-2. They've just cocked this up. Bro, what are you talking about? The game is a 2-point game right now. And by the way, they did lose it. They did lose the ball on the set after points. Mitchell Moses wants to challenge this. Well, why is Peter Goff not allowing him to challenge it? And also, having your ankles broken by a front rower. Yeah, you're exactly right. But why isn't Moses allowed to challenge the call? So it's a drop ball there from the Tigers, and Jack Williams runs to the 20. The Tigers are going to get away with this, but why isn't Dream Baller got done over by Jack Williams there? Good on the Tigers with the scramble defense. But I'm not too sure why Mitchell Moses isn't allowed to challenge this. And yeah, the commentary saying the same thing. Why was Moses not allowed to challenge this? The Tigers are getting some pretty beneficial calls in this game at the moment. Second tackle now for the Tigers at the 25. Anyway, we'll move on from that one, but there's been some real controversial, like, niche decisions here. Niche decisions. Fourth tackle here for the Tigers at the 44. It's a good game, though. It's an enjoyable game. Just complete your sets after points is all rugby league asks. All fans ask. Complete your set after points. And the Tigers are super lucky to get away with not giving up a try just then. So it's going to be Josh Papali'i who brings his ball out here to the 10. Why are people so... By the way, I just got to say, like, the Tigers could go on to win this, but, like, why are we so immediately reactionary? It is a literal 2-point game right now. It is so in the balance, it's not funny. And we're saying that I can't see a team winning from here. It's 2 points in the game going at half time, and the Eels nearly just took back the lead. What are we doing? Maybe if Moses didn't spend the other 79 minutes whinging at the ref, he might listen when it counts. It's also a good point. Fourth tackle now at the 30. Gets the offload away. Third tackle still. Jonah Pezzett. He will... That's I think, touch from the Tigers, so it should be 6 again, but it doesn't really matter overall. Eels are with the ball now at the 40 on first tackle. 30 seconds to go here. 0 tackle. Mitchell Moses out to Sam Tuivasa. He'll be at the 50 on first tackle now. 20 seconds to go here of the first half. They go quickly. Riley Smith, Mitchell Moses, short ball, and that is going to be a drop ball, and the Tigers will get it at the 40, but that's pretty much going to be the end of the half. Wait, but still should be able to challenge the lost ball, I assume. Correct, Sundo. Yeah, you should be able to challenge the lost ball. I'm going to go out on a limb and say Brian Kelly's first half performance might be the worst I've ever seen. It's what BK can do, man. It is. But the Eels fans are booing. I can understand the boo. It's not for the team. It's for the referee. Mitchell Moses is complaining right now. I can understand from an Eels perspective why you would feel very hardly done by in that first half. Yeah, so Mitchell Moses is talking about the challenge now. Yeah, so, okay, anyway, very interesting first half there. Really enjoyed it. I thought that was a good first half. From an Eels fan perspective, and from an Eels perspective, I can understand why you would feel super harsh done by as we speak. Not that you've been exceptional, but you've been good enough to be leading. But there was a significant discussion around the fact that there was a penalty for the Tigers off of an accidental head clash. Whether you agree or disagree with it, there is a significant discussion surrounding it. And then there's also that moment just now that's happened, and there's just been a couple of little things that have happened in this game that the conversation arises from. But either way, we've got a good game right now, and it is halftime, 12-10 to the Tigers. Tigers fans, no one's talking about you in a negative light when we're talking about and this is the same thing with the Broncos on Saturday. It's not about the Broncos and it's not about the Tigers. It's about the niche decisions that are forcing you to talk and be a little bit confused about how they've come to that suggestion, especially in regards to that last call. So what he's saying is that he believes that Jack Williams is getting up to score again, but also there are players on top of him and his arm has hit the ground and he's stood up straight, and now you're assuming that he's going to score again. So you're saying the tackle wasn't completed, so then he would have scored, but also I'm sure that if he had have scored there, the bunker then would have come down and said it's a double movement because his arm is on the ground and he's gotten back up. And I don't necessarily believe that Jack Williams was going to score again. I do think he was playing it. Even if that's wrong opinion, the point of the matter is that the referee hasn't called held. But then if he's got up and he does score, it'll be called a no try in the bunker because his arm does touch the ground, and then he stands back up. So the bunker will overrule it. So you're in a bit of a lose-lose situation there as the Eels. You're in a lose-lose situation whether you agree with the bunker, which would have called it one way, which would have been the complete opposite way to how the referee has called it there. And that's where the questions are coming up right now, where you're just like, well, the Eels were in a very lose-lose situation just then. A very lose-lose situation. But anyway, let's go into the team stats here for the first half. Obviously, guys, hope you are enjoying. Hit that like button. Subscribe if you're new around here. Our next game is going to be on Thursday, which is the Bulldogs-Panthers, which should hopefully be a good game, despite the fact the Bulldogs have been awful and the Panthers have been amazing. The Tigers, they're 12. The Eels are 10. Eels, Bailey Simonson and Junior Bolo with the tries, and then the 1 from 2 on the conversions for Moses. The Tigers, Adam Dewey and Dream Buller with Jock Madden scoring both of the conversions. Then we go to the possession, and it is 46% possession to the Eels, 54% possession to the Tigers right now. The time in possession is 12 minutes 24 for the Eels and 14 minutes 31 for the Tigers. So you want to see a minimum of 25 minutes time possession. They are above that. It is 26. It is basically 27 minutes time in possession, which you're pretty happy with overall. It's a decently healthy number there. We're seeing plenty of rugby league being played. That's good. Now, the completion rate, 80% is what we're looking for here. So 76% is what the Eels are at. It's not awful, it's not great, but it's close enough to being on a solid level. 16 from 21 for the Eels, and then for the Tigers, they're above the solid level. They're at 82%, 19 from 23, nothing to complain about that whatsoever. Then you go to the runs, 80 runs here for the Eels, 666 run meters, so they're 134 meters behind the 10 meters on average per run that you're looking for, so they're well behind that, so they're not actually making an amazing amount of meters every time they've got the ball, but it's even worse for the Tigers despite the fact that they do have more run meters. So the Tigers are at 101 runs for 773 run meters. By the way, the Eels have now gone to 17 from 23, 73% of the completion rate. That's now pretty bad. But anyway, 101 runs to 773, which means that they should be at 1,010. They're at 773. That's 100, that's 200, that's roughly 240 meters behind the 10 meters an average per run that you're looking for. So the Tigers are not making an amazing amount of meters, and you're going to see this in the average set distance in a moment. Both these teams are not making an amazing amount of meters on their sets right now. They are 240 behind it, and the Eels are 134 behind it. So if you were to try and equal out this game, it's 21 runs separate right now. You're definitely seeing the Eels go above the Tigers because it's 107 run meters separated right now, but with the extra 21 runs, you're probably seeing the Eels at roughly about the 820, 830 mark, which would be about 50 to 60 above where the Tigers are at. But they're just not getting the ball and then making those errors and knock-ons, which is why they're down to 73%, which is what's going to impact their average set distance, and that's why you're going to see the Tigers probably have a bigger average set distance. Then you go to the post-contact meters of Tigers 254, the Eels 187. With the extra 21 runs, you're probably just going to see the Eels get to about that 230, 240, so they'll still probably slightly be behind. So the Tigers are at least doing a bit better in the post-contact. But then you go to the line breaks, it's equal at 2-2. Tackle breaks, though, is what's killing the Eels right now, and this is what we know from their defense. 30 tackle breaks for the Tigers is wild. That's 30 missed tackles for the Eels. That is diabolical. And then 15 for the Eels, which is pretty average there for the Tigers. Average set distance. This is crucial. It means they're knocking the ball on pretty early in sets, to be fair as well. 29.12 is pathetic here for the Eels. So 25 and below is awful. Turn the stream off. 25 to 30 is disgusting. 30 to 35 is underwhelming. 35 to 40 is hitting the marker. 40 to 45 is great. 45 to 50 is fantastic. And 50 plus is basically perfect. The Eels are now at 29.59. That is in the disgusting category. They are not making the marker of 35, and they're not even getting into the underwhelming category of 30 plus. 29.59 is simply not good enough. They need to find more meters. They are currently 140 run meters behind the runs marker, and it's showing right there in their average set distance, and it's also showing that the knock-ons are really impacting their average set distance as well. So 29.59 is not good enough. And then for the Tigers, also not good enough, but not as bad. 33.63, it's in the underwhelming category. It's in the middle section of it. It's not good. It's only 4 meters above the Eels here, and they've had those less errors. They're above the 80% completion, but again, they're 240 meters behind on the runs. The run meters department of the 10 meters an average per run is showing in that 33.63, and the limited errors is also what's keeping that up, because if they had errors like the Eels, they probably would be down into the 27, 28, 29 category as well. So both set distances need to improve. Average play the ball speed, 3.19 and below is extremely fast, 3.2 to 3.39 is fast, 3.4 to 3.59 is average, 3.6 to 3.79 is slow, 3.8 and above is extremely slow. The Eels are at 3.61 seconds right now, which is in the slow category. It's not a quick play the ball speed by any means, but the Tigers are at 3.83 seconds. That is extremely slow. This is a slow played game regarding the play the ball speed. It feels a lot faster than it actually is. That is showing that this play the ball speed is taking a little bit to get going, rather than the snappy style that we've seen across the comp so far this round. For example, that Titans vs Broncos game was very, very, very fast in that first half. The offloads is 7 to the Eels, 8 to the Tigers. You don't usually see the Eels get out offloaded in the first half or in a game at all, but the Tigers are doing that. 4 dropouts is 1-0 to the Eels, and the kick refusal 100% for the Tigers and 0% here for the Eels. Now, the effective tackle percentage. You're going to have a heart attack when you hear these numbers. This is bad stuff here. Bad behaviour from both these teams. Wowee. So 85% below is awful. 85% to 88% is underwhelming. 88% to 90% is hitting the marker. And 90% and above is basically perfect. The Eels are at 79.45%. They are not even at 80%. The marker is 88%. If you just want to be underwhelming, 85%. They are not only in the awful category, but they're in the well awful category. If you are going under 80%, that takes some special talent to have that low of an effective tackle percentage. That is really, really low. You don't typically see under 80 at all, and low scores are usually around the 82, 83 mark rather than 79.45. 174 tackles made, pretty typical. 30 missed tackles is insane, and 15 ineffective tackles is also insane. So the average amount of missed tackles in a half is 15 to 17. They're at 30. 13 above the highest of the averages in the missed tackles. And then the ineffective tackles average is 5 to 7. They're at 15. They're 8 above the highest of the averages for ineffective tackles. So that is, in that half, 45 bad tackles in the half. That is over a bad tackle a minute. Over. 45 bad tackles in 40 minutes. The Eels defense is still not defending. The Eels defense has been very heavily critical across these opening rounds, where they lost 52-4 to the Storm. They lost. They lost the Panthers 48-20. Yeah, they beat the Broncos, but they gave up 32 points to them. And yeah, they beat the Dragons, but they gave up 20 points to them. This defense right now is aligning with that, because 45 bad tackles in 40 minutes is putrid. But the Tigers, they're not too far off them. 82.99% is at least in the normal area for the awful category. Like, if teams are bad, they're usually around that 82, 83, 84, like I said. 82.99% is in the awful category still. 161 tackles made, so 13 tackles less than what the Eels have had to make, but they've got 15 missed tackles, which is half of the Eels, and then 18 ineffective tackles, which is actually, funnily enough, 3 more than the Eels. So the 15 missed tackles is on the low end of the average of 15 to 17, and the 18 ineffective tackles is 11 above the average of the ineffective tackles. So that is, at least it's 32 bad tackles in the first half. And to give you the context behind it, missed tackles are the more key stat out of the two. Ineffective tackles are not great, but missed tackles is the more important one there. So at least they've limited that greatly, and that's, I guess, why they're leading right now. But they've limited that greatly, so it's only half of the Eels. It's still not fantastic, but it is on the average. The ineffective tackles are awful, but 33 bad tackles for the Tigers in the first half, compared to the 45 bad tackles from the Eels in the first half. So both these teams are not defending well right now. They just simply aren't. Negative play. Also, both teams are actually making quite a few errors. So 3 and below is really good. 4 to 6 is average, and 7 above is awful. The Eels are at 6. That is on the high end of the average. I was expecting more, but it's on the high end of the average. Whilst the Tigers are at 7. So they're at the beginning of awful. That is a lot of errors to be making. If you are going above 7 in a half, it's really bad. They're at 7, Eels are at 6. They're close enough, but they're at least into that average category. The penalties conceded, 4-2 against the Eels. Very ill-disciplined from Parramatta, and it's okay from the Tigers. Ruck infringements 4-3 is getting well up there. They're both ill-disciplined. Inside 10 metres, 1-0 against the Eels. You look at these stats, and realistically, there is positives and negatives across the game from both teams. It's really even. The run meters, the Eels are actually making more run meters per run than what you're seeing from the Tigers per run. And the line breaks are even, but the average set distance is more so because the Eels are making the knock-on at the worst time possible, and it is in favour of the Eels slightly, but the Tigers slightly, but they're both underwhelming or awful in that category. Play the ball speed is so slow here from both these teams. The completion rate is pretty much what's winning the game for the Tigers right now. They're at 82% to the 73%. So ultimately, on these halftime stats, you would definitely lean with the Tigers, but you could honestly make an argument for either team here again, because there is an entire possibility the Eels win this game too, if they can limit those penalties. The penalties is what's really killing them in that completion rate, but if, again, the defense isn't great, but the Tigers are also matching it with bad defense at the moment. This game's completely up in the air, and again, there's been some real critical decisions that have opened up a conversation this first half, and hopefully we've got a little bit more of a clean, straight second half coming up. But it's very. I'm enjoying the game for the discussion purpose of it. The discussion purpose of it is good. So from here on the stats, you'd probably just slightly lean with the Tigers, but no stat is telling you there's still either a guaranteed winner in this game. Peter says, the lack of consistency when it comes to referees in the bunker is the biggest problem for the NRL. 100% agree. Dion says, captain always gets the challenge. So he would have lost the challenge because, the referee is saying he would have lost the challenge because he didn't call held. But again, the Eels are in a lose-lose situation there because if he gets up and scores, which I don't think he was doing, but if he gets up and scores, the bunker would have come back and said that his arm is on the ground and there's probably still a hand still on him, so that would be a double movement. But by standing up, the referee has said that he wasn't held, so then it's just a lost ball in play. Long story short, no matter what there, the Eels lost that scenario. They lost the scenario due to the inconsistency in regards to officials. Aaron says, ref has been terrible, but Moses approaching and touching the ref is weird behaviour. Sure, but he's also, with the touching part, sure, I agree, but he has had a right to the discussion with the referee today. David Watson says, Tiger's second try was a blatant strip just prior to the ref is Tiger's 14th man. That is also true. Kai Pearce-Paul definitely did strip that ball. And that was a really bad miss there from Peter Goff. So, yeah, there is definitely a lot of discussion to be had in regards to the officiating in this game here today. But either way, take the ref out of it and just go try and find a way to win the game on your own merit, man. Try to take the game away from the referee. But the second half has started here, guys. Hit that like button and subscribe. The Tigers lead 12-10. They're starting off with the ball. Second tackle at the 20 for Sonia Turova. Renee says, Manly or Broncos, comment down below who you like more. Who cares about Manly and the Broncos right now? What does that have to do with anything in this game? Jareem Buller will get this ball to the 45 now on third tackle. Sean says, special talent. Dion says, Tigers got to stop giving 6 agains away set off the set. The Eels have given away more. The Tigers have only given away like 2. The Tigers have only given away 3 compared to the Eels 4 and 5 in total. The Tigers have had more. Yeah, I'm not too sure about Sean Russell either. I would assume it was a Cat 1 though, dude. He was in a really bad way. Brontox says penalised for head clutch, the contact sport, and this is why we had a pretty significant discussion about that before, because they've technically skirted the rules to penalise the Eels on that situation. So Brian Kelly brings it to the 15 on third tackle. And Tigers doing well here on defense. They're holding them down here. And Bailey Simonson is going to bring this ball out to the 15 on fourth tackle. 15 on fourth tackle. Has Sean Russell failed his HIR? I would assume so, Jared. I haven't heard anything. I hope I'm wrong, but I would assume so. It did not look good from him at all, and it didn't look like he was probably going to be coming back. So the Eels now whack it down to the 25 where Jareem Buller picks it up and he'll bring it out now to the 35 and gets it off to Luke Lawali'i and he'll bring it out to the 50. So good area of the field here for the Tigers. Good area of the field. Second tackle now at the 40. It's going to be Lawali'i again. Third tackle, 30 metres away from the Tigers line, from the Eels line. Tigers good opening set meters. It is decent. It is good opening set meters. Jareem Buller takes it to the 18 on fourth tackle. You watch. There's going to be a meltdown from Eels fans post this game, regardless of the result. Like if they win, they'll say they beat the ref, and if they lose, they'll say it was the ref. And the discussions there, Dewey's at the 8. I just know how the post game chat will go online. Jock Madden kicks his ball back into the corner where the Tigers get it. The Tigers get it. Try time for Falatino Tavana. And it's a try time for the Tigers at 16-10 with a kick to come. And the Tigers have been the ones on top here in this opening 3 minutes of the second half. And that's a really big slam down there from Falatino Tavana as well. Massive slam down. Massive slam down. Well, there's another one of my try score predictions up. There you go. But yeah, Jock Madden, he does love this pivot, man. And the Eels have not been getting up for the ball at all. But the defense, again, comes down to being questionable. Josh Adokar gets up for it. Brian Kelly, you could have argued, was getting involved for another escort if he doesn't get that as well. So try time there for Tavana. He's absolutely slammed that one down. Yeah, Jock Madden's last 2 weeks have been impressive. Jock Madden's been solid, man. But Jerome Luai will come back and... you obviously have to keep Madden in the team, but Luai will come straight back into it. Tavana challenging every ball is something the Tigers have not had in a long time. Tavana's a good player. We saw that in the preseason. But that is a nice try. So Tigers up 16-10. Now let's see them convert it to make it an 8-point game. It's a good little play here, Tavana. Down says, can't say ref helped them. That's a bit of a dog shit comment. It's a little bit of a dog shit comment because what you're trying to allude to is as if like it's unfair to reference officiating throughout this game. That try is fine. Do you notice how we weren't critical of it? Nobody is critical of it because the try was fine. That doesn't negate the fact that the officials have had a say in a lot of the other part of this game so far. So, yeah, I think that I'm biting back at this comment because you're trying to allude that like it's an unfair reference point to be criticising officials just because I know you're a Tigers fan, but I think as an NRL fan, you could look at it from a neutral perspective and say, yeah, there is definitely some questions in regards to how that first half operated. So, yeah, no, I won't just let that fly because I know the undertone that you're trying to use there, and it's absolutely fair. It's absolutely fair to criticise the referees in that first half. Brighton says he doesn't celebrate much at all. Benji keeps his card close. He's a much more serious coach than a player. Yeah, well, it's good to see. You know, he's serious business, and he's had people question him for years, but he just keeps on cracking on, and the Tigers are making their improvements. Trey says, all this talk about the refereeing, I'm still mind-blown. Grimace from McDonald's on the field at half-time. McDonald's are a sponsor. Yeah, they've got the short sponsor there of the Eels. Jared says, Luai too busy ripping Pokemon cards to play the NRL. How long is he injured for? How many weeks is he out for? Third tackle now for the Tigers at the 25. They got the kicks, but it's an 8-point game. And now we fourth tackle. Michael says, when you get on Matty G's podcast, well, I'm not in Australia for starters, but also it's up to him, man. Like, I know Matty G, but like it's up to him. Like, if he wants to invite me, he can. But I'm not in Sydney, so very difficult. Luai said pre-game could be back next week. Well, that's good. All right, so they'll kick this ball down here to the 10 to Josh Addo-Carr, and he'll bring this ball out here to the 25 now on first tackle. And he says, does Jock Madden want to come to the Dragons? We need a half. That just really makes me... it's 6 again for the Eels. Him going to the Dragons just really makes me think that it would be a nightmare waiting to happen and he would go back to previous form without like trying to insult. Like it gives me that irky feeling like he's been good here, but I don't know if he would be good there. But you do need half. The Eels now beat the 45. Tigers looking like they started the second half good. They did. They scored a try very quickly through Falatino Tavana. Close to a forward pass there, but they don't call it. Out to Sam Tuiveti. And Tuiveti will be at the 40 on 4 tackle now. 34 minutes to go here of the game. Riley Smith off to Charlie Geimer at the 30. No, Carl Flanagan will still play. They're under a contract freeze right now, St. George. Eels go up for it. They catch it. They throw it back, but it's Samoa Fainu who gets the ball, offloads it to Dream Buller, and Dream Buller brings it out to the 8 on first tackle. Madden and Little would fix a lot of the Dragons' problems. I don't agree. I don't agree. Little's good, though. I like Little, but I don't think that... Like, again, Daniel Atkinson is a good little player, but it's not really been working out for him. I think they're in a really sticky situation, St. George. I don't think that Jock Madden comes in and sorts their problems out really at all. 4 tackle now at the 45. 35. Houston, Texas, mate. Get some good steak, India. They've got some good steak there. Kotoi Sau taken down to the 45 on 5th tackle. Alex Twell off to Jock Madden. And that is a good kick, a good chase, but the Eels will have a good catch at the 10. Are we seeing any State of Origin players out of this game for 2026? Moses. Who else? Name some players and I'll give you my personal opinion. Moses, I think, should partner clearing the halves. But I'm trying to figure out who else would be getting into it. 4 tackle here at the 22. Yeah, the confident offloads from the Tigers. Love to see it. Terrell May's not a bad shout. But then again, it seems like New South Wales don't want to select him. But also, Terrell May is probably one of the better shouts. Because like he, on his own merit, deserved to play last year, but they deliberately went away from him. The Tigers will be taken here at the 35 on first tackle. True, we need something anyone. You do need something anyone right now, Oni. You do. I just don't know if Jock Madden's the answer to that. Atkinson needs a 7. He's not the 7. Yeah, I've come to this understanding too. I originally thought he should have. Well, I did keep saying that he should be the 7 because I didn't think Flano was a 7. So I wanted to see Atkinson 7 rather than Flanagan. 4 tackle here for the Tigers and they'll be at the 30. Happy for Origin, but Daly won't pick him. I would go Blake Brayley. And they'll get someone to fly into, and he's going to be 22 metres away from the line, fit tackle. Fox can get back into Origin. Well, the wing spot's open since Lomax left. Havana! Oh, great take from Addo-Carr. Addo-Carr is a fantastic shout to get him back in because the winger spot is open. You've got Addo-Carr. Obviously, one wing is going to be Brian Tuttle, but you've got Addo-Carr knocking. You've got Nwana Tawase, but I don't know if they do go with him. There is plenty of options around. But Fox might be in the lead. He was one of the Dalian winners of the year last year. I do not think that the spine should be Luai and Moses. I think it should be Moses and Cleary in the halves. Can I play in the halves? Probably better than Kyle Flanagan can at the moment. No, I cannot. 30 minutes to go here in the game. Hit that like button and subscribe if you're new around here. Still 18-10 to the Tigers. Now, I'm full well aware that I'm nowhere near as good as the worst player in the professional game of rugby league. But that doesn't mean that you can't have an opinion on how certain players are playing either. Second tackle now at 35. Mark is favourite. I just don't know why, though. But sure, I can understand why he would be favourite right now, but I don't understand why as well. Case McLean, the other wing for the Blues. Case McLean should be in the team. Definitely. Todorova is at the 45. He's only 19 years old, too. It's crazy. So Sione Fainu Latu Fainu comes on for Royce Hunt. Let's see what he can do in the halves. They'll give it out to Makasini, and Makasini now is going to be at the 40 on fit tackle. Last tackle here. Damn, Alex Twell is having a massive game on Supercoach right now. Massive. He's on 58 points already. Addo-Carr with a good grab at the 10. Why was he so slow to get up? Yeah, as a Queenslander. Yes, please, Pete. Yeah, not for me. Matacross has seen the media's post about Shane Flanagan with the Dragons is hilarious when you compare him to Madge getting flack even when the Broncos win. The media criticises Shane Flano. Well, it's just that you got to remember the context is different. The Broncos are a major team in Queensland with a major audience compared to the Dragons, who are they used to be a major team in Sydney with a major audience. They still have a sizable audience, but it's nothing like the Broncos. The Broncos are a much bigger target than, say, the Dragons. So they'll kick this ball down into the corner. Teams get judged differently based off of the context behind the teams. Jareem Buller, good run here, brings it out to the 25 now on first tackle. And second tackle here at the 30. Do you think 3 weeks is too short of a break for Flano given he's unconscious for 5 minutes? I'm not a doctor. I will trust the doctor's decision. Third tackle. You're not a doctor, so you should also trust the doctor's decision. Kotoi Sau to Alex Twell, and Twell is going to be at the 45 on fourth tackle. Kotoi Sau to Terrell May. And Terrell May gets the offload away to Kotoi Sau, loses the ball. Is that a knock on? No, they're going to say it's fine. Dewey's away here at the 30. Whoa, okay. Trust the referee's judgment. I'll trust the referee's judgment, but question. And Tavana this time, no, the Eels will get this ball and they'll bring it out to the 15. It's going to be a penalty to the Tigers. They're going to say there's an escort here. Addo-Carr escorts, I think, against Tavana is what they're saying. No. I want to have a look at this again. They're saying this is an escort. Companies get more money criticising the Broncos rather than the Dragons. Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's get more media headlines of the Titans' new coach. Let's see some big changes. Bro, what? Why would you get more new headlines of the Titans' new coach? It's been 5 weeks. Josh Hannah doesn't deserve any criticism right now. He's inherited an absolute mess. That's absolutely mind-baffling that we would even suggest that he deserves to have any more media headlines and deserves criticism. Like, he's inherited a mess. Like, what do you expect from him in 5 weeks? When I criticise this club, I don't criticise Josh Hannah. It's so early. Makasini is going to be 4 metres out from the line. That's crazy. Second tackle now for the Tigers, and they're 4 metres away from the line. If this was 5 rounds into the second season for him, sure. But this is the first season. He's only been here for 5 weeks. Terrell May now the 10. And he has made changes too, mind you. Get that ball up to Dream Buller. Dream Buller is at the 5. Third tackle. Tigers, you score here. Gee whiz, it's going to be hard for the Eels. They go out to... Oh, they kick this ball through. And it's going to be a dropout coming up for the Tigers. Dropout coming up. Well, who do you think should be the Blues' second row replacement once Angus leaves? As a Bulldogs fan, maybe with a bit of bias, I would say Preston, but would you have anyone above him? Hard to think across the competition right now. Preston's a great shout, though. Do love a bit of Preston. Who else is there? Name me some other contending options, because it's very difficult off the top of my head whilst commentating to think of all the different options that they do have at their disposal. So the Eels will kick this ball to the corner, and that will be a Tigers ball to 10. It goes over the sideline of the full. Have the Eels touched the ball this half? It doesn't feel like it. Like, yes, they have, but it doesn't feel like it at all. Random question, do you know why they kick for touch close to the line? What do you mean? So, Kodoi Sau to Samwala Fainu, and Fainu is going to be 5 metres away here from the line on first tackle. I just don't think New South Wales will medal his coach. From your mouth to God's ears, man. Out to Latu Fainu, then to Terrell May. If the Tigers score here, you're like, well, do the Eels have enough in them to score 3 times? Kodoi Sau. Out to Dewey. Dewey underneath now to Luke Laloligi, and he'll be at the 8 on third tackle. Everyone's supporting each other, ready and waiting for any chance of an offload. Attitude could be better from the Tigers. Attitude couldn't be better from the Tigers. Yeah, their attitude is very different to recent years, that's for sure. Dream Buller! No! 3 metres out from the line, 4 tackle. I give it out to Jock Madden, then to Terrell May. He'll be fit tackle. Aspect says, like, Uppy just kicked the touch, even though the penalty was 10 metres out. Because it's kicking the ball over the sideline for the penalty. That's just kind of what happens. They're going to put the ball over the sideline. There'll be Eels ball here at the 15. It's just kind of what happens. It's not like a deliberate play. It's just to effectively authenticate the penalty. So the attack wasn't fantastic there, and the Eels will now get the ball. Again, it's only an 8-point game right now. There's plenty of time for them to adjust this. Plenty of time. Eels, Bailey Simonson to the 22. Still 24 minutes to go. Olakau'atu for the Blues. I've always liked him. Yeah, Olakau'atu is a big shout, man. He is a massive shout. I'd prefer Olakau'atu over Jacob Preston, if I'm honest. Dylan Walker, he'll bring this ball now to the 40 on third tackle. That's a Bulldogs set if I've ever seen one. Very Bulldogs-like. Out to Kitiona Kautonga, and he'll get this ball to the 50. The Eels just have not had any real solid pressure in this second half so far. It's been all Tigers at the moment. They go to the left now. Jonah Pezzett, Brian Kelly. And Brian Kelly is 44 metres away. Hudson Young, for me, is definitely not a starting back rower in New South Wales. He's too focused on himself when it comes to New South Wales than it is about the team. We've seen this many times now. I really would like to see what Olakau'atu can bring. Talakai, no chance. Billy Burns is actually a super underrated selection, but, you know, he's doing amazing for the Sharks, but he's the origin. I don't know, but it's really underrated selection. I actually appreciate that you've brought him up there, because 99% of people will not talk about Billy Burns. 6 again, even the Tigers are 30. The Eels are just all over the shop at the moment. Sonia Torova at the 40, sorry. And another 6 again. They are all over the shop right now, Parramatta. Scott says, if Tigers make the top 8, do you see Benji winning Coach of the Year? Let's see how all the other teams compete first. You're very, very much like very heavily focused on like end of year scenarios, and it's very like individualistic. Like maybe he could, but also contextually, like Justin Holbrook will be there. There's so many other teams, bro. We're 5 rounds into a season. We're 5 rounds into a season. Third tackle. I don't know why you're not understanding about what I'm saying. Adam Dewey here at the back to Dream Buller. Buller then to the Torova. Torova still going. Torova still going. Torova still going. He's going to go over the sideline here. He's going to go over the sideline. Yep, see you later. Wow, it was actually really good from Torova, but then that was really good from the Eels too. Damn, bit of a viffo there. The Eels player, I think that's Papali'i, really got into Sinitarova just then. He got into his face. That's hilarious. That is hilarious here from Papali. Wow, if I was a Tigers fan, if that was happening to the Titans, I'd flip out. But, from a neutral perspective, it's so funny. Look at Papali'i. Look at the Papali. He just absolutely gets into Tarova's face on the sideline. Could be a momentum shifter for the Eels, but they've got a lot of work to do to turn this momentum. They've got a lot of work to do. That team was probably worse than me putting 4 into my top 10 Australians. Oh, what was his? 1 KP, 2... what's happening here? 1 KP, 2 Dom Young, 3 Stephen Crichton, 4 Herbie... What is happening right now? What on earth is happening right now? What on earth am I reading right now? I don't know what I've just read. Anyway, 6 again here for the Eels. I don't know what I've just read just then, Pete Star. The Eels have just received a 6 again. It's now second tackle at 50. So I'm super confused about what I just read from Pete Starr. He just named random players. So the Eels are going to get this ball to the 40 on the Tigers side of the field. I don't know what the team was for at all, Brighton. I have no idea the context behind his comment. I have no idea about the context. 4 tackle at 33. Pezzett off, Smith on. So Pezzett is off for the Eels. They give it to Riley Smith, and Riley Smith is going to be 24 metres away from the line. There was Brits with the Aussies with Kiwis. I don't know what's going on. I don't think anyone knows what's going on. I don't think Pete Starr knows what's going on there. Kick this ball into the corner. Caught by the Eels, and we'll lose the ball, and Jock Madden will get away. No, they're going to say it's a penalty to Parramatta, taking him out without the ball, I think. No, sorry, taking him in the air is what I should say. Kaipi's Paul playing so well just brings Adam O'Brien's stocks down more. What was that bloke even doing at the Knights? It's a great question, Aaron. But, yeah, it is a tackle in air. Tavana definitely, not Tavana, Luke Laulali'i definitely makes the tackle whilst he's still in the air there. So Eels are going to be on the attack here. Well, it's not a deliberate action, Moses. You can complain about the calls in the first half, but you can't complain about this one. This is a legitimate, just straight-up penalty. 20 minutes to go here of the game, folks. Hit that thumbs up button, subscribe. Did I say Peter was off? No, Jonah Pezzett's off, Bailey. Pete says, guys, what's wrong with the team I picked? We don't even know what team you're picking. You just said names, and we're meant to be Nostradamus in regards to figuring out what you're referring to. What are you even saying? We don't know what you're saying, mate. Yeah, what is it about? All you've done is named a 1 to 17 and expected us to understand what you're talking about. And it was just, you had Kiwis, you had Australians, you had Englishmen. I didn't mean it's an origin team. Well, we don't know, Pete, because you haven't told us what the team is for. I'm losing my mind, bro. Just say what the team is for. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That is why. Yeah, exactly right, Lag. What for then? Tell us why. So there is a stretcher. God bless him, man. There is an injury right now. I'm losing my mind. Oh my god. I'm going to move on from that comment. There is an injury right now. God bless him. Who is it? Who is it who's down? I don't know what... Tavana and Brian Kelly are going back at each other here. There's definitely some emotion in this game. It's a bit of a biffo right next to the player here. Be careful of the guy who's down injured. There is a bit of biffo happening at the moment. He's down receiving serious attention, and they're all having a bit of a slight rib tickle on the sideline, throwing some handbags around, while this man is down completely injured. I think Pezzett got injured. He's definitely not on the field. I actually don't know why Pezzett went off, but he's definitely off, Mr. X. Who takes a fullback spot for Queensland? Probably Kalen, with Reece Walsh being injured. But then again, Kalen's also injured. Look at that absolute knob of an Eels fan. Like, he's trying to fight Samuela Fainu. Shut up, man. You looked like 15 years old. Grow up, dude. Grow up. You had some 15-year-old Eels guy on the sideline just pointing at Samuela Fainu saying, let's go meet outside. You are a fucking moron. Like, you are a moron. And there's a bin here for the Tigers. Luke Laloliti will go to the bin here. If that Eels fan, one, you're picking Sam Walafonu who would rock your shit so hard you wouldn't even know what your name is. And secondly, you look like a moron. No one thinks you're tough. You're not cool for saying let's meet outside the stadium. You've paid to come to this game today. You are watching the players play and you want to fight them. You're an idiot. You are a moron, whoever that was in the crowd. Yeah, Para fans look like a pure knob. Just so stupid there, Michael. And he's going to go and say, I was in an argument with someone on the phone. And it's like, mate, he was laughing at you. Right, but anyway, there's a sin bin here for Luke Laloliti. There is a sin bin. But like, what a moron in the crowd. So 20 minutes to go here of the game. And Laloliti will not come back on until there's about 11 minutes to go. A real definition of all bark, no bite. And I bet if Fiona went up to him, he will shoot himself. Of course he will. He'll ask for a photo. He'll ask for a photo and we'll ask him to sign an autograph. He'll say, that's so good. Terrified. So what if Fiona would slap that man so hard that he would move to Tajikistan? I go back to that play where the Eels took Turua over the sideline. That was the butterfly effect for this. Yeah, I agree, Sundo. You know, that was definitely the butterfly effect for this. The game is rocking at the moment. It's just we're just responding to an idiot on the sideline who has nothing to do with the game. Sport Record says, what's a sin bin for? He tackled him in the air. It was an accident. Yeah, okay. Well, we've already seen penalties for accidents. Well, also, it's not an accident. A tackle in the air is an intention. What are you talking about? A tackle in the air is intentional. But the debate that you should be coming to that side with is saying, well, this is not usually a sin bin. It's usually just a penalty. It's just because of the injury. It's a sin bin. Your argument of it wasn't intentional is wrong because he has deliberately gone in to complete the tackle. That is an intention. If you're talking about non-intentional, you would talk about that head clash in the first half. But that way of thinking about what we just saw there is wrong because it definitely was still intentional. But the intention wasn't to injure, so that's why it probably should just be a penalty. But they have gone with the sin bin due to the duty of care. Second tackle now to 3. The Eels with the ball, Talon to Silva. They'll go to Riley Smith. Riley Smith then to Mitchell Moses. Moses then off to Joash Papali. Oh, it's close. Oh, it's close here for the Eels. I think the Tigers may have just done enough here. I don't think he scores. This number 19 for the Eels. Who is this? Apa Twiddle. Apa Twiddle is the number 19 here for the Eels who's come on. Jock Madden hits him. Does he stay in? Does he stay in? Does he stay in? Oh, it's a try! Oh my gosh, Apa Twiddle, that is a monumental try. Oh my gosh. That is an insane try from Parramatta. How has he scored that? How has he scored that? That is wild, Parramatta. That is wild. He didn't even know if he got it down. Like, he didn't even know. He was looking up confused if he got that in as well. But that is incredible that he has scored that. Well done, Parramatta. Jeez. It's about to be a 4-point game with a kick to come to the Eels, and the Tigers still have a man to bin for another 9.5 minutes. How on earth? His eyes were closed, bro. That is mind-blowing that he's scored that try. Sebon says, if he hasn't landed like he did and was as injured as he was, they ain't sending him to the bench. Should be called for me. I agree, but we've had a real questionable officiating performance here on both sides. The first half, we saw a Tigers try, one off of the complete strip of Kaipi's ball that went unnoticed. But that's that instance. Another try came off the back of a penalty that was for an accidental head clash that they claimed duty of care. They skirted the rules to say that it was a penalty, and the Tigers ended up scoring from that. So you could argue two of the Tigers' tries there have come off of really questionable decisions. And then for the Eels, you can definitely question the sin bin in that regards. It was definitely a penalty, but you can definitely question the sin bin because that is never usually a bin, but because of the duty of care, this is now an argument that they're using. That's going to be a missed kick. It says 18-14 to the Tigers with 20 minutes to go. Their argument is now duty of care. So you're going to see over these next couple of weeks, and you're going to see for the rest of this competition, this argument of duty of care. It will skirt the regular and typical rules that you know in rugby league. It'll skirt the rules that you are aware of, and it will utilise the word duty of care without the rule book to justify a bending or justify a penalty, because we've seen the instance twice here today. Do you understand what I'm saying? Pen fan, but can I easily admit that's a better try than Tot was for mine. For me, that is one of the tries of the year so far. Look, that was incredible from Apatwiddle just then. I don't know if it's Apatwiddle or Apatwiddle. If an Eels fan can correct me on my pronunciation, that'd be fantastic. The Eels now will bring this ball to the 18 on first tackle. That was his first touch. What a G. I think that's his first touch ever in rugby league too. This is his debut, isn't it? So the Eels up to Dylan Walker. Walker at the back now to Mitchell Moses. Watchalong, the momentum. Sunday we were talking about that momentum switching up. Well, it looks like that momentum definitely has switched in the Eels' favour. 6 again of the Eels. They're away the Eels. Have a twaddle back here. There's a chance for Parramatta. Here's a chance. Dude, how about this, by the way, from Charlie Guymer? He'll get this ball to the 25 on first tackle. The momentum is absolutely in favour of the Eels. Mitchell Moses had to Dylan Walker. Dylan Walker runs it himself. He'll bring this ball to the 15. How about the footwork and the dummy there from Charlie Guymer? Second tackle here, 13 metres out. Riley Smith, left hand to Kitiana Kautonga. You got to time out Mike because we haven't seen any try at the moment. Third tackle, and if there is, then that's too early. They go out to Junior Bolo. Junior Bolo to Dylan Walker. Walker to Riley Smith. Then he gets it across into Mitchell Moses. Here's a chance here for Twaddle! This game is rocking. This game is rolling, son. 18-18 with a kid to come. He's had literally 3 touches of the ball, 1 try, amazing, a line break, and a try. Apatwiddle, have a game, son. Have a damn well game, son. Wow, what a turnaround we have seen. We spoke about that momentum switch Sunday. Who is Apatwiddle? You know who he is now. You know who he is now, Nikhil. And they've really targeted that right-hand side attack after that bin, and they've found those 2 tries off of the bin. Imagine how he feels, mate. He would be feeling electric right now, but what a big kick this is coming up here on the sideline. Eels have their own Milky Jenkins. How good is rugby league? How good is rugby damn well league? Nikhil says this game might still have a couple of twists for us yet. And this is why I was trying to tell Ibrahim, and Ibrahim, we love you. You know, don't get me wrong. We're not having an ultimate crack at you. But this is why I said, with 42 minutes to go to the game, you said you can't see the Eels winning from here. And this is proof as to why. It's a crazy statement to make. It's crazy. Dogs fans have to worry about Galvin now. That's true. Small Buddha says the Eels deserve that. Their defense has been amazing. That is absolutely a wild statement, bro. That is a wild statement. They have missed 43 tackles and had 29 ineffective tackles with a 79.49% effective tackle percentage. The minimum you're looking for is 88%. They're at 79.49%. That is something. That is something there, man. And big kick even Talon Silva. Oh, he's just missed it. Tied game 18-18, Easter Monday, folks. How about it? Easter Monday, folks. How about it? What a turnaround here, and also what a debut here from Apatwiddle. Can someone please tell me if it's Twiddle or Twiddle? Apatwiddle or Apatwiddle? Knights with Ponga and Brown beat Penrith. Have no idea what that's got to do with anything to do with this game here. Expert says even if he doesn't have a long career, he will always be able to tell his grandkids about his first time he took a rugby league first grade field. It's like with Charlie Staines when he scored those 4 tries. Was it for the Tigers or the Panthers? I think it was the Panthers. On his debut, he scored 4 tries or something, didn't he? That must be a record. 2 tries in 3 minutes. Yeah, for a debutant. Yeah, I'm sure it probably would be, to be fair. Extra time on a Monday night, mate. That would be unbelievable. Comment in the chat who you think wins from here. It's 18-18. The man in the bin for the Tigers, he's still there for another 5 minutes. About 10 minutes and 50 seconds is when he'll come back on. It's currently 16 and a half to go. They go to Sam Tuiveti. He'll be at the, 35. So it says Tigers need to hold out until old mate gets back on the field. Old mate's crazy. Old mate's crazy. Jordan Atkinson debut for the Titans, scored 4 tries and almost 5. Tell it louder, Crimax. Tell it louder for the people in the back. Get around Jordan Atkins. Also played with the Eels. I was at that game. Mitchell Moses now, he'll kick this ball down into the corner at that game at the old Skill Park at the time. What a moment to be alive. What was he, only 16 or something at the time too? He was super young. Jared says, hope Eels goal kicking doesn't cost them. Yeah, well, they would be up 24-18 right now. I think they would be up 24-18. They've scored 4 tries, no? Yeah, they've missed 3 conversions. So they would be leading 24-18, but they've missed 3 conversions, the Eels. So Latu Fainu, he'll bring this ball now to the 35 on second tackle. They go to Falatino Tavana at the 42. Nikhil says the whole of the game, this game is his debut. What a silver lining. I hope this is just the beginning. Yeah, absolutely. I think overall... Oh, he's lost the ball to 1-1 strip from BK. I know that from him. I know my boy can do that. I know that's what he can do. He is rocks and diamonds. He's had some big rocks moments in these games. This game where he hasn't been great. But he comes up with plays like that when you least expect it. 1-on-1 strip there from Brian Kelly. Second tackle there for the Eels. They're at the 40. They go to the right. 4 minutes and 12 seconds left here of the bin for Luke Lalali'i. The Eels now are at the 30. And 6 again for Parramatta. And Watchalong is staying down right now. Early drop goal now, maybe. Small Budu says goal line defence, I guess I should say. Sure, yeah, there's a difference between goal line defence and team collective defence compared to individual specificities, which is what we refer to there with the effective tackle percentage. But also, yeah, the missed tackles is pretty crazy. It's been a much better second half, missed tackles wise, than the first half. And also the penalties have been much more limited in this second half to the first half too. And this is what we said, the Eels win this game if they could reduce those penalties and their errors. They had 6 errors, now they're at 8, only 2 errors in the second half so far. They had 4 penalties, now they're only at 5, so only 1 penalty in the second half. Compared to the Tigers, who they had... I think 7 errors there at 10, so that's 3, so 1 more than the Eels in the second half. And the penalties was 1 there at 3, so that's 2, which is 1 more than what the Eels have had. So the Eels have gone less on errors and less on penalties in the second half compared to the first one. And the ruck infringements now is tied at 5-5. And the inside 10 metres is 2-0 against the Eels, 2-1 on report against the Tigers with the sin bin. So the game is definitely adjusted in that way. So the Eels now, they are 24 metres away. It's actually first tackle here for the Eels. 24 metres out. They give it to Junior Bolo. Then off to Dylan Walker. Walker to Luca Moretti. And he'll be at the 18 on second tackle. Talon de Silva to Dylan Walker. Walker goes at himself here. Good run to the 5 on third tackle. Wow, what a game on Easter Monday. God bless. Talon de Silva goes out to Kitiori Kautsonga. And he'll be fourth tackle at the 4. Fourth tackle at the 4. They go. Wow, that was a risky play. It's a knock on. I get it, though. Like, I get what their thought was. If he catches that ball, he scores at Okar. But obviously, he does not. Obviously, he does not. Oh, it was actually... Oh, if he catches that, it is just straight up a try for Adokar too. Look at goal kick statistics. Eels 37%, 3 from 8. Others 100%, 12 from 12. Are we talking about across the season? Surely the Eels have scored more than 8 tries. Have they only scored 8 tries this season? Surely not. Hold on 1 second here. So they scored 1 against the Storm. They scored plenty against the Broncos. They scored plenty against the Dragons. They scored a few against the Panthers, and they've scored 3 here today. Surely it's more than... Well, there's definitely more than 8. But anyway, yeah, the Eels missing kicks has been something, especially today anyway. And I think they missed 2 kicks in their last game, because otherwise they would have been at 24. So Lalali'i still 2.5 minutes left of the bin, and now the Tigers will... Suna Turuva will bring this ball to the 23 on third tackle. Cassandra says, can you tell us who has the ball? Well, you just go kind of listen into what I'm saying, because you'll hear who has the ball if you know the players and whatnot. Fourth tackle now for the Tigers. They're going to be at the 30. Pete Stars is the best place to hand the ball over. It's in your opposition 10 to 20 metre line. Thank you, Sherlock Holmes. So Adam Dooley is going to be at the 35, and it'll be fifth tackle. Josh's knock on Junior Bolo is Adokar, the new Junior Bolo of drop balls. I know who you are. Remember who you are, sir. They'll kick this ball down to the 20, where the Eels will pick it up at the 15 to Josh Adokar. 12 minutes and 40 seconds to go here of the game. Adokar takes it out to the 30 on first tackle. Still about 40 seconds left of this man in the bin of Luke Lalali'i for the Tigers. Still about 40 seconds. Eels, Apatwaddle out to the 35 now in second tackle. And we've got a really spicy weekend of Rugby League coming up as well, guys. Panthers, Bulldogs on Thursday. Broncos, Cowboys Friday. We've got just a whole Storm Warriors. Oh, my gosh. It's going to be a big weekend next week. 4 tackle. Knights, Tigers will be good. Out to the right, Moses. Moses nearly sneaks through. He'll be at the 30 on 4 tackle. Very quick play the ball. Arguably 6 again. And they do not. Still fit tackle here. Big space. Big kick. 1-on-1. But he can't get there. But Addo-Carr, great take. Great tackle, sorry, of Falatino Tavana. If he kicks that ball a little bit harder, Riley Smith, Addo-Carr wins that because he was completely open on that wing, but the kick just was well underdone and Tavana has an easy grab there, but then Addo-Carr locks him down for a dropout. Cosrip says, where do people come up with this stuff? Edwards will lose fullback. Oh, what's happening? Is there any world tour Alvi Farlonga gets to run for Origin, assuming he's Blues eligible? Edwards probably will, but I really would have liked to have seen Tedesco, but Edwards probably will. Bailey Simonson has been ruled out with a dislocated ankle. God bless him, man. It's been a tough week of injuries in Rugby League. Pieces to go for the field goal. Guys, it's 11 minutes 20 to go here. You don't think about a field goal this early. Realistically, you don't think about a field goal until like the last 6-7 minutes, unless it is just like super obvious, but you don't risk a 7 tackle set, but Samuela Fainu goes up for the short drop out and gets at the 15. First tackle here for the Tigers, and it's going to be now Mukassini brings out of the 20. Great short kick there for them. That's just not what you do. You do not go for a field goal between the 10... outside of the final 10 minutes, you do not even think about a field goal. Unless it's like the last minute of a half time until half time. There's no way you would risk a 7 tackle set with 13 minutes to go. Luke Laloliti will come back onto the field here with the Tigers. It's now back to 13 on 13. We're 10 minutes to go here in the game, folks. Hit that like button. Subscribe if you're new around here. Tell us in the comments who you think wins. Early drop goal than a try, maybe. That is absolutely not the play. And so they'll kick this ball down into the corner, and the Eels will get this ball to 10. I'm astounded people are still arguing for a field goal, knowing full well that a 7 tackle set is an entire possibility, and then you put yourself completely on the back foot, especially when you're not even in the final 10. But now we start to talk about, and they probably won't even think about it until 5 to 6 minutes to go, mind you. There's still way too long now to risk a 7 tackle set. This is good defense here on the Eels line, though, for the Tigers. They're coming out of their own 20, and now Riley Smith brings it to 25. Close to a 6 again there, but it'll be 4 tackle. Tigers ripping in here. Well, both teams are just, firing up. 5th tackle now at the 35. They go to the right, off to Mitchell Moses. Need a big kick here. Will he find grass? He will not. Dream Buller gets this ball to 15. He's going to take this ball out to the 30, to the 35. And Buller taken down. Moses win the game with the field goal. We'll see. There could be an extra time here on Easter Monday. It's going to be Luke Laloliti to the 45 on 2nd tackle. The Tigers, their field goal kicker, I'm sure, is probably a bit of Adam Dewey. The Eels, they've got Mitchell Moses. 3rd tackle now to 45. Seyfarth on with the game on the line. Just give the 2 points to the Eels now, Aaron says. Seyfarth is on. He passes the ball to Madden. Madden to Dewey. Dewey taken to the 35. He's good today, though. Dewey's been great so far this season. 4th tackle. And now they'll go across to Sione Fainu. And Fainu is 30 metres out. Still too early to be thinking about a field goal, even though they're in prime position. And that proves my point. They don't go for a field goal. So they'll put that ball up here to the 10. Addo-Carr, Tavana. Knocked back here from Tavana. And knocked back again. It's still 5th tackle. They're back to the 25. Dewey then puts one on the fly up. And Eels will get it. Good take. Apatwaddle. Apatwaddle at the 10 on 1st tackle. He's been so good since coming on, man. No, it's been a great game of it. Really fun game to watch. Brian Kelly now taken down to the 13. Nintendo Freaks is far longer. It's full Victorian, right? Not eligible for State of Origin. Yeah, well, he's from Victoria, yeah. But Victoria's basically Queensland, mate, so... Oh, jeez, that was a really risky... Victoria's basically Queensland. Good offload there. They go to the right, but you're right. Dylan Walker, he's going to get this ball to the 40. Some good offloads there from Parramatta. 4th tackle, 8.5 minutes to go. Good game to end the round. Fantastic game to end the round. There's only 3 days until the next game, rather than the 4 typically. 5th tackle here for the Eels at the 50. 5th tackle. Less than 6 max for a field goal. Absolutely, Michael. So now that's surely not going to the full. Oh my gosh, he would have absolutely had an aneurysm if he kicked that ball out in the full. 8 minutes to go. Dream Buller brings it out to the 25 on 1st tackle. 1st tackle. And it'll be second tackle now for the Tigers at the 30. They go to Mukassini, third tackle at the 40. This is a big 4-point game. 2 points for the win, and you take 2 points off of a similar competitor. Sunatorova, he'll bring this ball to the 40. They're both in similar discussions. So this is a massive 4-point swing of a game. They go to the right to Alex Twal, and Twal will get the offload away to Api Korowisau. Korowisau then a Dream Buller. Buller underneath it. Sunatorova. Torova's away here. Torova's away here. Torova's away. And it's going to be Pierce Paul taking down the 10. Jeez, huge run there, but he's taking down 10 metres out. Fifth tackle. They go short side. They give it to Dewey. Oh, it's so close, but he's lost the ball. He's lost the ball, and Parramatta are going to come up with it at the 10. What a hectic finish we got here. What a hectic finish we got here. If the Tigers win, they go second. If the Tigers lose, they stay fifth. If the Eels win, they jump up a couple of spots, but not many. If they lose, then they've just got to worry about next week. Because teams like the Tigers and Raiders can technically jump them. They do play the Titans next week, the Eels. Eels will score this set. Well, we'll see. They've got to go 95 metres. Sorry, 90 metres. Junior Bolo to the 15 on first tackle. 6 minutes 43 to go of the game. Now is when you will start to contemplate the field goal. Charlie Guymer at the 25. Do not give away a 6 again. Do not give away a penalty here, Tigers. You cannot give away the opportunities. Third tackle now for the Eels at the 30. They then go to the 40 on 4 tackle. For Jack Williams. This is where the big games, the big players come out. Big moments, big players. Dylan Walker trying to offload. Can't get it though. Fifth tackle at the 50, and Mitchell Moses, he'll put this ball to the corner where this should be an easy one for Luke Lalali'i. And he'll get it, and he'll take this ball out now to the 20, where he'll get away from one tackle, but then he'll be taken down at the 20 on first tackle. 5 minutes and 54 seconds to go here of the game. Still tied 18-18. Jareem Buller, he'll get it off to... Oh, that's a knock-on, maybe. That's a knock-on, maybe. Oh, no. I thought that Brian Kelly had his hand up there, and the ball bubbled into Brian Kelly's hand, but it's fine. They've said it's okay. Second tackle, and Jareem Buller, he's at the 30, gets the offload away. Off to Adam Dewey at the 22. They're not making a great deal of meters right now, and it's going to be third tackle at the 30. Well, the 50-50 game that we were talking about pre-game, it's showing you why that thought process was the way it was with this at the moment, with this being purely 50-50. Jareem Buller and Lalali'i taken down to the 40 through a great tackle from Joash Papali. Jock Madden. Across Api Korowisau. They're only at the 33. Then they get it off to Kai Pearce-Paul. Oh, no, Tigers. You are kidding me. You are kidding me, Tigers. Oh, no way is that a knock backwards. His hands have brought it towards the opposition goal line. That is an inconsistent call if I've ever seen one. Every single game we see if they bring it towards the opposition goal line, despite the fact the hands are facing backwards, then it's a knock on. But they've said that was knocked backwards. That was an incorrect call in my opinion. He has brought the ball forwards there. But anyway, first tackle for the Eels at the 32. That is an inconsistent call if I've ever did see one. Second tackle now at the 35. Tigers, you get very lucky there. The officiating today against both sides has been absolutely diabolical. I would say consistently across the game, though, the Eels have faced the harsher calls. But it has been bad either way, regardless. 4 tackle now for the Eels, and they're going to be at the 50. 4.5 minutes to go here of the game. They give it to Dylan Walker. Dylan Walker, then off to Mitchell Moses. Moses, short ball into the line. Jeez, good defense there from Jock Madden to stop the breakaway. They go quickly to the right-hand side. Mitchell Moses steps. He finds a hole. He's away here. Mitchell Moses at the 20. Oh, he's tripped up. He can't get the offload away, and it's going to be Tigers ball to 14. Oh, you are so grateful for that ankle tap there before, because otherwise he's going to challenge for a high tackle here. I don't think so. I think this is just to give his team a bit of a rest period. I think this is just to give a rest period, because I feel like this tackle is fine here from the Tigers. He was shaping for the chip and chase, and... Oh, this is a penalty. They're about to call this as a penalty. It's going to be harsh, but it's going to be a penalty. The hand does contact the face. High contact penalty. It is a jaw slap there, and that is going to be probably 2 points here for the Eels. They will take the 2 here. They will take the 2. That is a consistent calling. Nick Hill says, no way. Well, it does hit the face. It does. How far out? It's Well, they'll take it from 20 out right in front. No, not right in front, sorry. They're a little bit to the right-hand side, probably about 15, 20 to the right. Like, it should be got here. It should be put through. There's still 4 minutes to go here, but the Eels are going to go for the 2. Not necessary, man. What if he misses? Well, if he misses, then if it goes dead, it'll be a dropout from the 20 from the Tigers. If he misses and it doesn't go dead, then it'll probably be Tigers' ball. There's still time for the Tigers, but this is a huge penalty. It's a shit way to end it. Yeah, but it's still a penalty. Sure, but it is still a penalty. Jared says, where are you based if not Australia? Did I hear that wrong? Well, obviously I'm Australian, but I travel the world permanently, man. So I'm currently in Thailand. I've been in Vietnam this year. Last year I was in India, Singapore, Malaysia, Fiji, everywhere, man. America, I was there for the Vegas games. Still waiting to see who the teams are for next year. Nothing's been confirmed yet. But no, I'm currently in Thailand in Bangkok. All right, Mitchell Moses here from about 20 metres to the right-hand side. You should be expecting to get it, but they've missed a lot of kicks here today. It's not a guarantee, but he should be getting it, and he will get it! 20-18 at Parramatta with 2 minutes and 50 seconds to go here of the game. They're up by 2. 2:50 to go. This has been a twisty and turny game. 20-18. Hit that like button. Subscribe if you're new around here. Thursday we have Bulldogs versus the Panthers. But this has been a fantastic game to finish off round 5. And we've got some really spicy games next week. But can the Tigers find a way? Short drop out. Tigers get the ball. Tigers get the ball. 35 metres away. First tackle for the West Tigers. They're going to pass this ball across here to Jock Madden. That was Fainu who caught the ball, by the way. Now it's Sione Fainu, who's going to be 35 metres away. They're going to penalty take the 2. Oh my gosh. High tackle against the Tigers. It's about to be 2020. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Well, it's not an easy kick. It's 40 metres out, but it's also basically in front. If you miss this, you make sure it goes dead. But if you get it, we're probably going to extra time. A penalty off of the kickoff here for the Tigers, 40 metres out, to tie the game and potentially send us to extra time. Wow, what is going on here? This is crazy. And the clock keeps going down. Unfortunately, Tigers, you don't really have the luxury here of letting this clock go down. Because if you miss it, you will get the ball back if it goes dead. If it doesn't go dead, you lose. Because the Eels will get the ball and they'll just run the set out. Very important kick here. Oprah Winfrey refereeing this game. Everyone gets a penalty. It's a minute and a half left. Jock Madden. He's lining it up. He's lining it up. He was a Tiger. He went to the Broncos. Now back a Tiger. Never a more important kick than this, Jock Madden. You still should be getting this. It's right in front, 40 metres out, and he will get the kick over the post, and it's 20 points to 20 with a minute 10 to go. What an Easter Monday we have here. 20 points to 20 with 1 minute to go of the game. If they make it, they make top 8. And that's a stupid comment. We are in round 5. I'm not biting back at you. I've already had to just tell this to people today. Guys, we are in round 5. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I can't deal with people. People are so immediately reactionary. Be happy for the moment. But there's 27 rounds of the season. We've still got 22 more rounds to go. No one is solidified for anything at the moment. But anyway, there's a minute 6 to go here of the game. A minute 6 to go here the game. The Eels will kick this ball off to the 5. And they'll get back here. Dream ball up. Passes it off to Sione Fainu. And Sione Fainu is now going to be at the 15. Aaron says, my heart rate has gone up by 200. Yeah, what a crazy game. Second tackle now for the Tigers. Just don't make a mistake here. Cardinal centers knocking on and dropping ball after points, which is what the Titans do every single time. But this is the worst time to do it. This would be the worst. Charles Camp says Gold Coast will definitely win the comp, but that is something that I can back. Gold Coast obviously win the competition, mate. Oh, Jock Madden slapped by Kitiano Kolotonga, 4th tackle at the 30. 29 seconds to go here in the game. But that's just obvious stuff there, Charles. That's obvious. Jock Madden, he's with the ball at the 30 now. Gets it off to Alex Seyfarth, and it's 20 seconds to go. We're going extra time, folks. We're going extra time. They roll this ball back to Kotowai Sau, off to Jock Madden. 13 seconds to go. Little dink over the top. The Eels Well, they're going to get one opportunity here. 6 seconds, 5 seconds, 4 seconds. They can throw the ball around or they can just kick it out. And they're going to go for it. He's going to go for a 55-metre field goal there, Mitchell Moses. The Tigers get the ball at the 5. Okay, well, Adam Dewey, will he play this ball out? No, he will not. Okay, we go to extra time here, folks. We go to extra time here on Easter Monday 2020. Extra time coming up. Obviously, hit that like button and subscribe. Who do you think wins it from here? Comment it in the chat. Love a bit of golden point. Okay, so if you don't know how this works, whoever scores first will win the game. There is 2 halves of 5 minutes, but the first score wins it. If there is no score after both of those 5-minute halves, it will be a draw. If there is a draw here, that means the Tigers, they will go to 4th position, and the Eels, they will go to 11th position. If that is a draw. If the Tigers are to win, they go to 2nd position, and the Eels will stay in 14th, and then chance to drop further next week. But if the Eels win this game, they would now just go into 11th position anyway, because their points differential is still minus 58, and it's not going to be improved too much here. Hubba says 26 is my lucky number. Nikhil Moses is going to hit the drop goal. Bretton says Brian Kelly field goal. That would be such a BK thing. So Conway Sound, Mitchell Moses out for the coin toss. And it is tails the call. Appy wins it. Okay, so the Tigers will receive and the Eels will kick this ball off here. Jared says Tigers are 4th. No, that's crazy. If they win this, they go 2nd. T-Dub says Mitch is the specialist, but Dewey wins it. I got to support my team, so Tigers. Bets on if 12 scores, I'll run nude around Campbelltown. If 12 scores the winner, it might be the biggest meltdown in rugby league history across the competition. So there is 10 minutes left here. Can someone win it? You know what, Eels fans, if you don't win this, a draw is actually really positive for you. I would make an argument that the draw is nearly better for Eels than winning, on the basis that your points differential sucks so hard, it is so bad, minus 58, that if you draw, you don't need to care about how much you win games by this season. You just need to care about winning the games this season by 1 point. Because your points differential is going to take a mountain of effort to already overturn 4 or 5 weeks in. That a draw nullifies points differential. So it's a thought process that if you're a Parramatta fan, you actually take a draw here because it nullifies and null and voids the point differential. If you're a Tigers fan, you'd hate that shit because you're plus 44 right now and you've worked hard for that points differential. So Tigers, you wouldn't like a draw. Anyway, we are underway here for the first half of Golden Point. Hit that like button and subscribe. Tigers with the ball to 15. 4 minutes and 47 seconds to go here of the first half of Golden Point. Second tackle at the 20. Moses not happy either, that coin toss. Yeah, I don't know what he was unhappy about, but whatever. Alex Twell, he'll take it out to the 25 now on third tackle. I really would like to see a try end it. It would be nice, but we do know that these turn into a field goal-a-thons in these extra times. We've seen, one extra time this year go down very controversially in the 89th minute. Hopefully we get a definitive result here without the officials coming into control of it in this one. So fifth tackle. And the Tigers, Jock Madden will whack that ball down to the 15. So this is Apa Twiddle, sorry. Or Appy Twiddle. Was it Apa or Appy? Jeez. I really want to know how to pronounce his name. But anyway, Twaddle brings it back. And they're going to now be at the 35 through Josh Adokar. Apa Twaddle. So second tackle, now third tackle at the 40 for the Eels. 3:44 to go of Golden Point. Hobbit says, has there been any injuries in this game tonight? Yeah, there's been a couple, man. There's been quite a few, actually. So the Eels now at the 50 through Junior Bolo. Jeez, he nearly lost that ball too. Got him to hold on to it. They go out to the left to Jack Williams. And Williams at the 40. Too far for a field goal, and you don't risk it. Oh, they're going to go for it. Okay. Oh! Oh, my gosh, he nearly got that. It's going to be a 7-tackle set at the 20. I thought he actually was about to get that just then. That's a sweet hit considering how far out he was and how close it is. Oh my gosh, but that is so risky too. Now it's first tackle for the Tigers at the 40. Damn, I actually don't even agree. Like, it's a hero or zero play. It's now a zero play because you've given the Tigers a beautiful opportunity to get inside the attack on 30, and their third tackle at the 45, they're going to get a great field goal opportunity here. That's the risk of the 7-tackle set. That's the risk of that. I don't even necessarily agree going for it just then, because now the Tigers are 4-tackle at the 30. They're going to be in prime time range. Alex Twell at the 25. Now the Tigers are going to get this ball back to the 20, to the 30. Jock Madden can't cover the field goal. They had to pass it. Oh my gosh. Little dig over the top. Oh no, Eels. Oh my gosh. Knock on Eels. Jack Williams, you've probably just thrown the game away from Parramatta. You've probably just thrown the game away from Parramatta, unfortunately. Fifth tackle. The Eels do fantastic to lock down Jock Madden, and then Adam Dewey. And then the dink over the top from Dewey as he kicks it. Jack Williams had the ball and just drops it. And now you're probably expecting the Tigers to kick a field goal here from right in front at some point of this set. The Tigers, here's your chance to go into second. It's been a tough game. Kotoi Sau out to Dream Buller. Makasini out for 20. Here we go. When did they take it? 1:42 to go here of Golden Point 1. But if they score, it is over. For Norpole, he'll break away. When do they take it, though? Do they go early now? Second tackle. They're right in front. That's exactly what they're going to do. Oh, my gosh. Oh, has he got it? Oh, it's a penalty. Oh, I hate how games end like this, bro. I really hate how games end like this. Oh, it's such a way. Oh, it ruins how amazing it was. It's a penalty for inside the 10 metres. It's a penalty from right in front. You can't even challenge it either. They missed the kick. Oh, it's just such a real cruel way to end the game on an excitement factor, because now we just know the Tigers get it from right in front. I really want to see the offside again. Oh my gosh, it is just a really... Oh man. The Tigers are going to win this game. Like, it's right in front. Like, they get the kick. Okay, so let's see. Is he offside? Yeah, no, he probably is offside. He probably is offside. Like, he missed the kick, by the way. Like, he missed it. Hate that when it happens. Yeah, it just really takes the excitement factor out of it. And again, the Tigers didn't miss it, but the Tigers are going to get the win here. It was offside, though. No one's complaining about the call. No one's complaining about the call at all. No, it's the correct call. It's just you hate seeing this being the way the games end. And the Tigers will get it, and they will win the game, 22 points to 20. Oh, I just really wish it had come from the field goal. It would have been so much more exciting if he got that field goal. It would have been so much more exciting had he got that field goal. But the Tigers will win 22 points to 20. They're going to be in second position on the table with a kick from right in front to win it. Really fun game to watch here. Oh, you do prefer the more exciting, especially as a neutral watcher. You prefer to see it a lot more exciting than a penalty from right in front to win it in extra time. But it was offside. There was nothing wrong with that. Obviously, a lot of official calls in this game were dubious against the Tigers, but also definitely against the Eels. There's a lot to question in regards to that, but either way, Tigers, you win the game, you take the 2 points, and you're happy right now, and you get to take on a Newcastle Knights team next week, which is looking like it's going to be a belter. Like, that looks like it might be a belter, man. Tigers versus Knights next week. Knights playing well. You know, Tigers, I feel like right now on form, I do like the Knights, but that is at Campbelltown too. But, we'll see how it is. We'll see how it goes. But that's been round 5, guys. I hope you have enjoyed. I appreciate you for tuning in as per usual. Obviously, hit that like button and subscribe. We can just pretend he got it. Yeah, I'll go with that one, Cosrips. We'll just pretend he got the field goal there. Yeah, that's what we'll do. But hit that thumbs up button, subscribe. God bless you on this amazing Easter Monday. And I'll see you on Thursday for the Penny Panthers taking on the Canterbury Bulldogs. Thanks for watching. Catch you later. See ya.